Officially live on Facebook. It's still live on. I don't know what the hell's going on with Twitch, but what is up, everybody? I am Goku, also known as King Mexico, and it is another Geeks 5 Ever podcast. It's Saturday. We are running late. The podcast just sent announcements to everybody that we are running the podcast. We're like I said, we're running a little late today. Today was interesting. A lot of crazy things going on. A lot of crazy things in the world going on. I did say 5 o'clock. It is 5:20, so I do apologize for starting late. But I want to. My co-host could not make it yet. Saki Kitty will be here a little later. They'll let me know when they're ready to come on. But I have a special guest today. Joining me today on the podcast is he goes by DJ Comett. Comet, like an asteroid. Comet.
What's going on, guys? My name is DJ Comett. You can call me Teddy. We out here, glad to be on the podcast.
Yeah, no, thank you for accepting the invite, man. This is our fourth podcast since the quarantine started. We did podcasts before all this happened, but we decided we had stopped for a while, and then what perfect time to get it back and up and running than a quarantine?
Yeah, everybody's inside, can't really do anything, so might as well talk to the people.
Exactly.
I like it.
So, guest. Sorry, I'm updating my Facebook status. Okay, so no, but tell us a little bit about yourself, man. You're a DJ. What kind of? So tell us a little bit about yourself for the listeners to see, to know who you are.
So I'm 23 years old. I originally started just kind of making music way back in like ninth grade, so like 2010, 2009. And it was very trash. I'm not gonna lie to you, but everybody has to start somewhere. I also taught dance for a little bit. And then when I graduated high school and moved up to Denton, Texas, shout out UNT, my father actually was like, I would much rather see you pursue music than dance, to be completely honest with you. And low-key kind of hurt. That kind of hurt me a little bit because I thought I was doing something with dance, but he obviously saw something in music that I didn't see, that he wanted me to pursue. So what better way to do that than to start DJing? So he went and bought all of my equipment for me. I got it all set up. Yeah, I mean, everything from the mixer to the speakers, the stands, everything. Got all of my equipment together for me. Super cool. And then I actually set it up in a garage and kind of just stared at it and was like, I don't even know what better way to do that than start DJing. So I have no idea what I'm doing. He went.
Well, hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
All set up. Okay. Yeah, I mean everything.
Sorry. I apologize to everybody in advance. The video on my browser started up so they can hear us twice. Like, there was a lot of voices running over each other. So I want to apologize to everybody in advance. Apologize to my guest. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. It happens all the time when you do podcasting, especially live stream. When you do live streaming, you have to fix everything on the fly. You got to do it right then and there. You have to be constantly checking stuff. So I do apologize to everybody for the technical difficulty. Sorry, man, for interrupting you.
Oh, no, you're good. That's actually a great segue because honestly, fixing everything on the fly is kind of what it's like to be to be a DJ. A lot of the stuff you have to troubleshoot, especially when you're mixing and you'll have different or a song that won't download, or one of your speakers will go out. Like you'll have to be able to adjust on the fly. So I totally get it. Good thing on you for catching that though.
Oh yeah, no, I started hearing voices. And grab. I'm like, wait a minute, why are there 4 people talking? It's crazy because like and I get the whole like I am beginning to start learning how to be a DJ.
Yeah.
And I get it because it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. When I first started doing podcasting, it's not easy. Like I spent 2 weeks watching YouTube videos on how to use an audio mixer. Because I never knew it was so difficult. I want to acknowledge some comments that I just got on my personal Facebook account. Just real quick, because we acknowledge our viewers and our commenters. Shout out to Mr. Piccolo who commented. I will address those comments in just a second. Lauren Elizabeth McMullen has asked, what platform is this? This is the OBS Studio, which is also been combined with my Restream account. Restream allows me to stream, multi-stream actually, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and now Mixer. That's right, Geeks 5 Ever is now on Mixer. You can follow us on mixer.com, Geeks 5 Ever. We're also on Discord now, so I don't have the link for that, but someone's going to have to post that for me. And then Jessica says hi on my personal Facebook account. Addressing some comments real quick on the stream. It's King Mexico, practice makes perfect. Mr. Piccolo says practice does make perfect. Somebody said the podcast is haunted. We have a comment from YouTube saying hello from YouTube. Well, okay, to go back to the YouTube, to the DJ thing, so when I started learning how to do the podcast, you had to learn how to use, you had to learn what the gain was on the microphone. You have to, the echo, the gain, the volume, because you discovered that gain on the microphone is not the same as the volume. And I always thought it was. And there's lots of things, little things here and there, different auxiliary ports, phantom power, lots and lots of things that I've learned. I've come a long way. And so I know how to use a mix. I know how to use a DJ mixer, and I know how to use a soundboard.
Yeah.
But knowing how to do it and then actually doing it are two different things.
Very, very much so. Yeah, essentially, okay, and this is some people listening are probably going to be like, this is a terrible analogy, but like being a DJ is very, very similar to being an audio engineer. Like there is a lot of stuff that you learn in audio engineering that you can apply to being a DJ. It's not just mixing two songs together. It's not just playing music. It's the actual audio side of it too. So you like you said, like gain and volume are definitely not the same thing. You have to learn BPMs. You need to learn how pitch works. You need to learn how to beat match. All the different things that come into it, and it takes a lot of time. Like I thought that it was going to be as simple as like, oh, I could literally just press this button and it'll play the song, and then I can press this other button and they're just going to automatically match. DJs are up there literally sweating because they're having to think about like 5 different things at one time and making sure that the flow is still going, as well as keeping whatever your audience is interacted and very I guess like captured. You want to be able to keep your audience having a great time, as well as making sure that everything is seamless. So it is difficult. It is very, very difficult, and it took me a long time. I started in 2014 or 2015 ish time, and am still learning to this day. But I am very, very far from where I was when I was chilling in the garage. So
yeah,
now,
I can understand that. Yeah.
yeah. Now it's a little bit bigger crowds, lots of weddings, lots of birthday parties, lots of different events and stuff. Still getting my name out there. Working on my first project to release actually here soon.
Your own original track?
Yes. Actually, it's going to be an EP. So I have not released a fully produced track by me yet at all. The reason why is because I wanted to be able to have content before I released anything, because I can release one song and it could be great or it could be bad. If it was bad, then no one would want to listen to it anymore or listen to me anymore. If it was great, then I would have something to be able to back it up. So right now I'm just out here just stacking tracks, just getting ready to release something big. I'll probably release a single first and then release an album, or not an album, an EP after that. and then kind of go from there. But it's not just DJing. It's I'm rapping too. I'm gonna make visuals and all that other stuff. I'm getting ready to be well-rounded. DJ Comett is turning more into Galaxy Entertainment right now, or Galaxy Music Group, and we're gonna go out and kill it. You're gonna see us just about everywhere, putting our hand in just about everything. But the music is always gonna come first.
That's really cool, man. As a matter of fact, if you want some free advertising, man, we'll feature your stuff on our page. We're always looking for up and coming artists that need help. Like we do some stuff with Under Subsidence. We do some stuff with Deacon Rap. Like maybe we'll even start like our own like mini station and just play your music for you and help you get like some
Hey,
awareness.
that would be mad dope. I would appreciate that.
Right. Shout out to Albert, who Albert Burnside Redfield. He is the man that runs Downtime Gaming on YouTube. You can check out his YouTube channel on you. Remember, that's Downtime Gaming. He is a from what I've seen, he is mostly Resident Evil, like a lot of Resident Evil, maybe not mostly, but he's a lot of Resident Evil. He streams from his PS4. He's a really cool guy. Go check out his channel. Shout out to Mr. Piccolo again. He says, you got DJ Comett, keep it up. Yeah, like, honestly, like, I can understand, like, the whole coming up thing. Like, I am way different today than when I was a year ago. I had a microphone and I was recording my podcast at work. All right, we're going to have Saki Kitty's about to join us right now. Saki Kitty is ready. You're going to hear some ringing, folks. And I hear some apologies because we do this over and I know y'all hear my notifications as well. But you're about to hear some ringing like we're making a phone call.
Okay.
Hey, what is up?
Hey, give me 1 second.
Hey, take your time.
Turn
Take
on
your
the
time.
video so people can see my beauty.
You want to do video?
Or are we sharing video?
She wants to. Hey, are you Saki, are you actually wearing an actual shirt this time? Because we got flagged for that last time. Okay, there we go. Okay, we can do share video. Let me just turn so you guys can see what DJ Comett looks like. We're gonna go ahead and
Here. Hey,
How's it going?
I'm alive.
Yeah, look, the Rona.
Corona.
coronavirus.
Oh my god. It is crazy. Let me see if I can get this here. Give me 1 second. Here you go. Now I can see people and their comments. I don't see me, but it's okay. I'm not important.
That's not true. Don't you lie to yourself.
I have low self-esteem.
Yeah, we all know you do.
Oh.
All right. There you go. Now everybody can see what y'all look like. The
What a cat
gentleman
will you
to
say?
the
How you have low self-esteem? This is the theme of yourself.
coronavirus. All right. So that is Saki Kitty and that is DJ Comett. Now you can see them. You can't see me because I can only do so much at the very last minute with the stream. So nobody wants to see my ugly mug anyway. So Saki Kitty, since you just joined the stream, this is DJ Comett who's joining us as a guest.
What's going on?
What's up?
What's up?
Nothing.
What's up? That's such. What's
I have
up?
orange juice. Orange juice is healthy. Florida.
What'd you say?
Orange juice. This is orange juice.
Orange juice? All right, cool. I got a
Yes.
colada from Dunkin' Donuts. It said Baskin Robbins
Ooh.
on it, but it's definitely Dunkin' Donuts.
I need to. I need to get off Amazon and eBay because this is bullshit.
Yes.
I need to. I'm out. I don't have a job. I'm out of money. I keep buying shit on Amazon.
Oh my god, I've been dealing with unemployment and it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, no.
It's a goddamn nightmare. Can I say goddamn? Too late. Okay.
No, you remember you cussed last time. That's not the issue.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't think we've been kicked off YouTube just yet because nobody said anything.
No. Like unemployment's a nightmare because look for jobs on TV, and then I have a letter saying not to look for jobs, but then I'm gonna risk my life to go get a job, but there's no jobs. I'm running out of options, guys. What am I supposed to do? I'm just gonna lay here and die. It's terrible. It's a fucking nightmare. Like
It is a nightmare.
I still haven't gotten any employment, and it's like, oh, it's gonna take 4 weeks, and I'm like, I might be dead, guys. So, like, what the hell?
A whole struggle out here for these jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a nightmare.
it is a nightmare. It's a nightmare out there right now, especially with all the people protesting. I don't want to get. One thing we don't do on Geeks Fiber, we don't get political, but I think a lot of people protesting out in the streets is just not going to help the situation. It's just going to make shit worse. And honestly, like I don't like to talk down. I don't like to talk down on people, but those are a lot of fucking idiots, especially the ones with their children out there. You're putting them at risk. Nobody's practicing social distancing. They're all up in everybody's Kool-Aid. They don't even know the flavor. All up in my business, wondering what I'm doing. I'm like, man, I almost got into a fist fight at Sam's Club because the guy kept getting closer and closer.
Yeah, people are struggling to practice social distancing, but at the same time, like, it's kind of hard out here for a thug. Like, them bills is not quarantined. Like, I still gotta make money somehow. Like, so a little odd job. Like, I could totally get
like we need Darwinism. It's absolute Darwinism. Like I'm like it's stupid.
It's
people.
kind of crazy, but you know, I'd rather people be safe than sorry. You know what I'm saying? But the Walmart, Kroger, HEB stuff where people are just buying up everything and kind of like literally crowding is not business.
Right, you're absolutely right. Sorry, we had another technical difficulty I had to go deal with. I had to pretty much had to tune out, and I'm still trying to figure out how this damn program works. It's such a bitch. Anyway,
it's running a little laggy. I don't know if
that's
people
just on
can
your.
see. Like on my,
it's on your end because I'm looking at it right now through the OBS studio, and Mr. Comett over here is running fine, and we can actually see every blink he makes. He's blinking right into the camera. But Saki Kitty, yours just looks like a picture like I just posted on there. This is what Saki Kitty looks like.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. It's just like what's going on?
Who do you have as the internet provider?
I have AT&T.
So
I know I have a high speed, so unless like a lot of streaming going on at my house right now.
You know what the problem is?
You
know what the problem is? You got that TV with Netflix on in the background.
I don't know if Netflix playing in the damn background.
What is that? I'm looking at your TV. Oh, you got the Xbox. The Xbox is a internet hog.
It's not an internet hog. Let's see if I can turn. Let's see if I can go. See what happens.
I personally think that it might be the iron in the background.
Yeah, the ironing board.
I think that you got the Wi-Fi on the iron in the background.
Yeah, no, for real. The iron that thing uses a lot of data when it comes to Wi-Fi. It's got to get all them updates for straightening out your clothes. It won't straighten out your clothes without the latest update.
Like, I got 15 rolls of TP in my truck. What the fuck? Hit me up.
It's like that one. It's like that one kid that we met. He was like 20 at the time. He's like, "Oh man, I wish trees would produce something useful like Wi-Fi." And it took all the power and strength I had in me not to smack the crap out of him.
So we just don't need oxygen? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think he realizes that trees provide oxygen.
They also provide paper.
Right. So if you're just tuning in, this is the Geeks 5 Ever. This is our 4th podcast since we've started, since the quarantine has started. This is our 4th podcast. Our special guest today is DJ Comett. He is a DJ, an aspiring DJ who's also becoming an all-around entertainer. He's going to drop the hottest album of 2021. I'm talking straight fire.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm already hyping you. He's got Eminem on it. He's got Dr. Dre. No, I'm messing with you. He ain't got them.
I do?
He's got Mike Jones.
Who? Nah. 281-330-8004. Yeah, I'm out here. I'm really grinding. I'm trying to get this started. Everybody starts somewhere, so it's small right now, but like I said, at some point you're gonna see my name somewhere.
No, you already see it here. You're on a.
Hey, look, I'm on the best podcast of quarantine.
That's right. Look. I think it would help if we actually had some kind of script, but it's whatever.
We never have script.
No, I don't believe in doing scripts. I always go with. I always say it's better to wing it than to do anything else, and. Yeah. I like the live stream aspect of it because we can actually interact with our audience. So it becomes less of a podcast and more of a hangout session. It's more of a hangout session, but it is a podcast because we do have subjects, we do have guests, and we do talk about their line of work here. And we do address people and their issues. Like we had talked about Anime Matsuri one episode, and then the second episode we briefly mentioned them. But then, we spent 2 episodes talking about Matsuri, and then 1 episode we talked about shitty movies like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Well, and then we talked about games, like some games that wanted to be remastered or redone, up to systems and beatdown games, like the Scott Pilgrim.
Mm-hmm.
I love games.
I do want to live stream Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Shout out to Mr. Piccolo who says, "Be right back, y'all. I'm about to inject myself with some disinfectant spray."
Don't inject yourself with disinfectant. I read on the news that 30 people, I think it was 30 or 50 people, got sent to the hospital in New York because they decided to drink bleach.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't.
You're shitting.
So just a public announcement: do not inject or drink disinfectant or bleach or Lysol, just don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We do not.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, no, it's a horrible idea. Don't do that shit. Speaking of which, this podcast is brought to you by the Tide Pod Challenge. No, it's not. Don't do that crap. Look, we're not going to talk too much about the president. A lot of people don't like him. We're not going to get into the political aspect of that because that's not what we do on this channel. There's lots of things we don't talk about on this channel. Politics and religion are those things. But we will talk about the stupid shit that people are doing, like injecting themselves with bleach and Lysol like it's heroin.
Oh God.
By the way, we don't call them drugs on this podcast. We call them vitamins.
Vitamins.
God. Vitamins. Yeah. All right, who needs some fresh vitamins?
You need some vitamins? I got some wonderful vitamins.
Vitamins.
Hey, I got some Flintstones on pat right now.
Right. So, one thing that a lot of people don't understand is that if you really want to avoid getting did we say the name of the virus?
No, we're calling it the White Fang, I think.
No, we're calling it White Claw.
White Claw. Okay, the White Claw.
Then we're gonna call it, because we can't call it. We can't say the actual name because we'll get in trouble with YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll kick us out.
Good to know.
Yeah, so, like,
gotta heat up that dishwasher forbidden. Gotta watch.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't mention it at all. Like a lot of actual professional YouTubers and streamers or whatever are not saying it by its name. Like I watched the Wrestle Talk podcast, the channel, and they call it the Steve Carino virus. So we're calling it the White Claw virus.
Got it. Okay.
White Claw.
White Claw virus. Yeah. Okay, I feel that.
But I mean, just don't go out. I mean, there's a lot of, and you know what's crazy is that webcams, microphones, they're becoming increasingly harder to find, and they're becoming increasingly expensive.
Yeah.
Everything's becoming.
Yeah, but
like
people are buying up everything they can: computer monitors, soundboards, microphones, webcams. And I said this, like, you know, I said this a few years ago, like there's going to come a point in time where the door to start a YouTube channel is going to start closing and close. It's not closing, but it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And like, this is the best time to try to start something with YouTube. I mean, if you want to start your own podcast, that's cool. I mean, you're going to be competing with me, but there's already lots of people doing that.
Yeah.
But, you know, and this is crazy. Actually, this is one of the things, you know, as a DJ, how hard is it? Like you're not getting, I can only imagine you're not getting any gigs right now.
Well, yeah. So, that's a good point to bring up, because actually when this all started, I had a lot of different, weddings and events that I was going to do for the rest of the year. And I had a lot of people either have to reschedule or cancel or things, which is really tragic. Not necessarily on my end as far as like DJing, but just like, you know, a lot of these people were like, they had these special days planned for like years in advance, and we put so much time and effort into it. So like having them be canceled because of the White Claw virus is kind of difficult. It's really sad to see, but at the same time, you see a lot of these people starting to hone into their crafts and stuff, which makes me step up my game, because there's a lot of DJs that have just been going live on Facebook and YouTube and just doing these like quarantined like party videos, like or podcasts from their homes, and they're out here killing it. So it's definitely going to make it harder when everything opens back up, because there's a lot of people that have been posting and they've been doing a great job. Shout out to some of the DJs that are on my page that have been just going hard. You know, they're definitely going to start getting some calls from some people, but yeah, it's super difficult, especially if DJing is like your full-time job. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, it's not mine. It's something that I'm doing on the side, but it's starting to become something that's going to be full-time. So I didn't take a huge hit, but I do know that once everything opens back up, you know, I got to be on my A game and start competing again. So it's difficult. It's definitely difficult not being able to get out there and party with the people.
Right. No, I completely understand. I've been watching. I have a lot of friends. That's what gave me the idea. That's why, like, I have a lot of friends that are DJs, and that's what originally gave me the idea to invite people that are DJs or in bands, because I also have friends that are in bands. I have several friends in bands. I have, you know, my buddies in Under Subsidence. They're this is hitting them really hard too, because they were doing a lot of shows. They were going on tour. They were doing really good. I have a lot of, like I said, I have a lot of friends that are DJs that are live streaming their work, and there's a lot of good stuff out there. There's a lot of talented people, and then there are people like cosplayers like Saki Kitty that are like, you know, making face masks or making anything they can, and it's really good. People are like, the creativeness is coming out in people, and that's what's really exciting about now. And especially for us, like, we've never done this before all this even happened. We've never done the live stream podcast, and we've tried to do live streams. We've done the podcast, and they weren't that popular, but with the live streams, we've been averaging like anywhere from 130 to 200 people. And so, you know, we were only averaging like 10 to like 30 people. Like if I had 30 people view the podcast, I was excited, but now we're getting like a few hundred, and that's really exciting, especially for now. We have a comment real quick. No, go ahead, Katie. I'm sorry.
No, I've been seeing a lot of cosplayers, and some of them, you know, people who are not like major into the cosplay scene, or some of them have even retired, and they're making masks as we speak. And I've seen people doing tutorials or doing tutorials online. It's a nice feeling, you know. Like I never considered sewing to be like a real essential, because you can always just buy clothes. It's easy to fix clothes, but sometimes it's cheaper to just buy them. But it feels good to try to help everybody else, especially since now Texas is it's mandatory to wear a mask.
Right. Yeah, you have to. And everyone watching on my personal Facebook account, I apologize if I'm not acknowledging your comments. It's not showing me the comments on my own personal Facebook because it's set on private. So if you want to comment, you have to click. You have to comment on the YouTube version or the Twitch version or our Facebook page. But to address some comments that are on here that I can actually see, Mr. Piccolo says, "What if you DJ comment what if you did a live concert during the quarantine? Would it be the way?" Okay, he's saying, what if you did a live concert as a way to get your name out?
Yeah, so that is something that I'm actually currently working on. I would love to be able to do a live, like a live set, about an hour long, on Facebook and YouTube, and just have it kind of streamed over platforms. The main thing is just getting the copyrights to the music. That's like the hardest part, because a lot of DJs that I see that are doing anything live on any social media websites or whatever are getting shut down because they do not have the copyrights to the music. And sometimes, you know, you can put in like, I don't have the copyrights, and they'll let it slide, but it kind of depends on what you play. So putting together a set list is like the biggest thing, putting together a set list that I could be able to use on these social medias is like the biggest thing, because there's like certain songs that I can use and certain songs that I can't use. But my biggest problem is that I am like the most unorthodox DJ. Like I don't like creating sets. I like to just kind of freestyle and go off top, and figure out a song to play next and just mix it in and have fun with it. Honestly, like I think that's one of the best ways you can become a DJ, is instead of creating something, you just kind of let your mind go where it goes and, you know, hone and master that. So I am working on that. I'm trying to figure out how to be able to do something like that here soon. But I definitely know that it's going to be a little bit over the top. I'm definitely not going to just set up a camera. I need to have like 9 other people in there, because, you know, we can only be in groups of 10. But like 9 other people in there, we're just going to have a big quarantine party. You know, I'm going to set up my lights and everything and just go for it. So look out for that. We'll get something together.
Yeah, absolutely. To address some comments, let's go ahead and address some comments. Mr. Albert Wesker said something about, okay, I got a great idea. Mood streaming, live stream, and take song requests for men who want to set the mood for their private time. A Smexy playlist to lead an audio cue for horizontal mambos. Yeah, no, I'll pass, thanks. Mr. Oliver Machu says, I am curious. What's up, Oliver, by the way? I am curious as to how many new business ideas pop up after all this mess. That is going to be interesting as well, because I've been saying this for a long time. The market is evolving. There's going to be a lot more, like, there's going to be a lot more people focusing on online streaming and online orders and online businesses, and there's going to be a lot of people, like, it's going to evolve. It's going to be a mess at first, because a lot of businesses will go under. Unfortunately, that is not something that I want, but I believe that a lot of businesses are going to go.
You know, like it's going to happen, and it might happen. But I already seen some people already doing online shopping in orders, like they do a live stream online of what they have, and that's a great idea. It's like, hey, and I was even thinking of doing that once I get these masks done. It's like, hey, y'all gonna get the first pick.
Right.
Send me money for PayPal, and I'll send you the masks. You know, it was very simple transaction.
Actually, yeah, no, there is a lot of people getting really creative with it. I'm not going to speak on it too much because I kind of want to see how far I can go with it first. But I've actually started doing some little underground kind of how-tos for DJing, as far as going from just specifically like marketing as a DJ to the basics of working a controller and whatnot, kind of turning it into a class. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Masterclass before. Masterclass, like they've been doing like releasing videos kind of different things that you could do, like whether it be cooking or producing or songwriting or whatever, but it's like a full class. And there's a couple of guys that have just kind of been asking, like, how do you get started and everything? And we'll have a few nights a week we'll get on, and I'll just kind of talk to them about how to work this or how to do this or how to do that and the other. But there might be something coming out of that. Like I said, when I get ready to release this little EP that I have that I'm working on, something similar to that is going to come out as well. I'm just not going to tell you how, because I don't want the idea to be taken yet, because nobody's done it yet. So I'm like, all right, we gotta keep pushing.
To answer a question somebody had, actually, somebody texted me a question, and I totally forgot what it was. Oh my god. It's because I have to like maneuver the programs in the background at the same time. I'm trying to focus and concentrate. And it is a lot of work, and I won't lie. Sometimes I don't even feel like doing the podcast. Sometimes I don't. We started, for those of you that don't know, last night was the very first time that we did our terrible fan fiction reading. And it's usually a panel we host at all the Comic Cons and anime conventions, wherever wherever people accept the event for, where I will literally just sit there and try my absolute best to read some really bad fan fiction. And last night I actually got a headache from reading Harry Potter My Immortal. It was so bad. The spelling was so bad. It lasted for about an hour and a half, and I legitimately got a headache last night, and I had to stop.
How did that fanfiction become popular? Just because of like how terrible it is?
So bad. It is so bad.
Okay,
like,
so what is it?
Yeah,
so it's a fan fiction somebody wrote. So let me go ahead and let me read the summary for you. Let me go ahead and read the summary for you. So this is from Wikipedia. So My Immortal is a Harry Potter based fan fiction serially published on fanfiction.net between 2006 and 2007. That explains why they use the word "rar." Known for its incomprehensible narrative and constant digressions, the story centers on a non-canonical female vampire character named Ebony Darkness Demetria Raven Way. That's the whole name.
Oh, God.
And her relationships with the characters of the Harry Potter series, particularly her romantic relationship with Draco Malfoy. Ultimately, she is prompted by visions to travel back in time and try to defeat the main antagonist of the series, Lord Voldemort. So I read it last night, and it is pretty awful. Like, let me. Oh, just for the heck of it, I'm gonna read a bit of it.
Okay, no.
No. I'm just gonna read the author note. The author note. I'm not gonna read the story. I'm gonna read the author note. This is what the author said, and I'm gonna read it in the way she spelled it. So, chapter 1, it says, author note, special fangs. Get it? 'Cause I'm goofik. To
What?
my GF eel, not in that way. Raven, bloody tears, 666 for helping me with the story and spelling you rook. Justin, you're the Louvre of my depressing life. You rook to MCR rocks. You're like, what?
Somebody has dyslexia. I mean, other than
Okay. I have dyslexia, and that's disrespectful.
And then here's another. Here's at the end of the beginning. Here's another author note at the beginning of chapter 2. It says, fangs to bloody tears 666 for helping me with the chapter. BTW preps, stop flaming my story, okay? First off, the spelling. I'm not gonna go any further.
Okay, is the actual fan fiction spelled the way that she's typing this stuff?
It is spelled better. There's better spelling in the actual story, but it doesn't. It's not like. So in the story, she talks about Draco Malfoy being gothic. Like the whole thing sounds like the whole story sounds like it was sponsored by Hot Topic, and not the new Hot Topic, not the Hot Topic that we know now. I'm talking about the Hot Topic from like 15 years ago when we couldn't afford shit.
The seatbelt buckle Hot Topic.
The ones with the big jeans, the Dingo jeans. I love those jeans.
Yeah, they had the corsets, the jeans, the boots, and everything. You're like, oh, cool. Look, hey, being goth is awesome. Then you look at the price tag. Oh, no, that's okay. I'm gonna stay hood.
Yeah.
I wish I kept my Dingo jeans. Oh my god, those are amazing.
So she describes Draco Malfoy and like Hot Topic. Like they listen to Good Charlotte and My Chemical Romance and so it's so bad, it's so awful. And then she says that Draco Malfoy is like sad and depressed, and he slits his wrist because he's sad and depressed, but he can't die because he's a vampire. But he commits suicide by slitting his wrist.
Oh, okay. So like, all right, like that's inconsistent. That's just poor writing.
Yeah, no, and it gets awful. Like, so she takes all the Harry Potter characters that are already well established and turns them goth as well. Like Harry Potter is a vampire. He goes by vampire now, and Hermione goes by.
How far did you read into this story?
We read about half of it. I told you I read because the chapters are incredibly short.
Okay.
So I read about half of it.
J.K. Rowling is literally rolling in her grave, and she's not even dead.
I know she's digging a hole like I'm done.
Oh no, this is terrible, but it's great.
Oh no, it is so bad. I'm trying so hard. So the fan fiction, I put like a video of a fireplace, and I have the comments on the side. I'm trying to make it like all serious, like it's like welcome to Geeks 5 Ever Storytelling. Today we're gonna read you an enchanting, spellbinding story with character development and depth. A story that will leave you wanting for more. And then at the end as soon as we start the story, because I'm goofic.
Little did you know. No,
I knew it was gonna be bad. I knew it was going to be bad because there's a warning before you start reading the story. Like, this story is incredibly awful.
There's a warning saying that it's terrible. That's great.
Let me actually read the warning. Hold on, I just want to read the warning. Okay. Okay, so this is a message from XXX Midnight Essence. They had to put a lot of X's. I don't know why. Obviously, I did not write this. It was published on the site 5 years ago, then removed. There are probably other copies of the fan fiction as well as others on other sites.
Oh my
but
God.
I thought I'd post it anyway. Those who remember My Immortal, well, should also remember the first few chapters, 1 through 15, were co-written with Raven. Hence, why they were spelt better. Oh my God. The spelling got worse after chapter 15? Oh no, I'm on chapter 13. I have to read the rest tomorrow.
Oh my God.
No.
Wow.
No, I'm not looking forward to that now. Oh, okay, but don't worry. Raven leaves in chapter 16, which is where her character Willow gets expelled. Whatever. However, she seems to return. The copy on here, I'm pretty sure, is the 100% version of My Immortal with no edits and all the outs and no edits at all outside those by Raven, which were in the original. This version will also include the Hacker chapter 39. Okay. Yeah, it says right here the My Immortal is most famous. Yeah, it's like really shitty. Like they're saying that it's like so bad that it's bad in a funny way. Like I read it last night trying to keep a straight face, and I could not. Like I broke out laughing at points while reading that story. It was just awful.
Oh my god.
Look, I'm a pretty sizable Harry Potter fan, okay? And I'm over here about to start crying. Like, I'm about to just take I have a whole Deathly Hallows tattoo on my chest, and I'm about to just rip it off.
Oh no, it's really bad. Hold on. Give me one. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
I am so appalled.
Okay, so I had to close the door to my room because I'm about to share something with you because my niece and nephew are outside. I want them to hear this. So in the story, when the girl's about to lose her virginity to Draco Malfoy, she actually describes it as this: he stuck his boy thingy inside my you-know-what.
Get out.
No.
She typed it out like that. I am not kidding you.
That's just terrible. I would have wrote something way better than that. That sounds like something like a 10-year-old right.
Well,
his boy thingy.
His boy thingy.
His
Put some
thingy.
respect on Draco. Like
his boy thingy. Okay.
We have a question from Mr. Piccolo. Mr. Piccolo asks, "What house are you in, DJ Common, if you were in the Harry Potter world?"
Oh, okay. So I took the house test. I'm not even going to lie to you. I took the house test 6 times. I made 6 different emails just to do it. Every single time I've gotten Slytherin.
Fuck yeah.
And I am a proud Slytherin to this day. Not going to lie. I love it.
Isn't Slytherin like all bad guys?
No, it isn't.
No.
Everybody always assumes like people who are Slytherin are terrible people. I'm like, no, we're not. Okay, just because Lord Voldemort wanted to take over the world doesn't mean that I'm gonna form a cult, which I will one day. But until this,
we just a little aggressive. It's okay.
we just a little aggressive. They not.
I'm a little aggressive. Sure, we might kill somebody, but that does not make us a bad person.
Look, ain't no thing. We just out here. We really just want to let y'all know that we're unfuckwittable. Like, can I say that? I said it anyway. Like I just want to let y'all know we're really out here. Like,
we're not bad people. We sometimes do bad things.
Sometimes unintentionally.
Sometimes we'll do good things. I'm making masks, so there we go.
We do bad things accidentally on purpose. No, yeah. So Slytherin is my house, and then the wand that was closest to any of the ones that were in the books that I got was for Sirius Black, which I thought was dope. So yeah, and then I cannot remember what my Patronus was. I think it was like a rabbit or something. I remember being pissed off about it, but
hey, I heard Patron. What's up?
He said,
I don't know. I know what was my wand. I remember parts of it. Apparently, it's like one of the larger ones on the scale, and apparently my wand will get bored. If it gets bored, it does crazy things. I'm like, cool, because I do crazy things all the time, so we're gonna be good to each other. He's like, I'm bored. When it causes chaos, sure, fireball.
If I were to have a wand, I guess my wand would be a Glock. What's up? Wreck yourself, fool.
Pull up with that stick.
Yeah, no, one Downtime Gaming says, so the author must be special needs.
No, no, God.
That's an insult. That is such an insult to special needs people.
Well, the thing is, I think at one point, spelling like that was the cool thing.
What you mean?
I
Bad?
was never
bad
pulled in.
I don't know.
guess
Like
so.
in 2006, in 2006, it says 2006 or 2007. In 2006, I was 17, and 2006, I graduated from high school at the age of 16. No, sorry, 17, and then I turned 18, and I was 18 for the majority of 2007. Sorry, I can't think right now. Yeah, I like how we went from talking about DJing and art and struggle to Harry Potter fan fiction.
I mean,
They're talking about each other's houses. Wait, do you know what your house is, Goku? Are you Slytherin?
I do not know, because I am actually, I know I know somebody's gonna get mad, but I'm actually not that big of a fan of Harry Potter.
Oh, look, it's okay. There's no shame in
How
in
dare you?
that's
How dare
no,
you
it's
not
fine.
like Harry Potter? Harry Potter's the shit.
No,
Okay,
because
but here's the okay. So you said you're not a big fan of Harry Potter, but do you like Lord of the Rings?
changing the
I mean,
subject.
Okay, good. Because if you're not that big of a Harry Potter fan and you don't like Lord of the Rings, then I could let
Okay.
you pass, because I don't like Lord of the Rings.
Okay, well, here's the thing. It's not that I don't like Lord of the Rings. I think it's a good movie, but there's why didn't my biggest problem with Lord of the Rings is that why the hell didn't they ride that damn eagle all the way to the volcano? My lazy ass would have been like, hey, bring that pigeon back, okay? We're riding that motherfucker all the way.
That's the one.
And why did they all oh my god, they did it for the journey, for the adventure. I'm like, bullshit. I'm like Ash. I'm not about to put my ass on the line. My Pokemon are about to do the fighting for me.
Hey, there's some animes that I just do not like whatsoever. It just makes no fucking sense to me.
Well, okay, so when it comes to anime, I do not. Okay, so real quick to the Lord of the Rings thing. I think it's a good movie. And don't get me wrong. I think Harry Potter is a really good. I saw the last two, and I thought they were really good. I actually like the Deadly Hallows Part 2. But I'm just not that big into the lore.
And that's okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
And with Lord of the Rings, I like it. I had to read the book in high school, and the first quarter of the book was stupid because it's the Hobbit singing bullshit songs. And then I like the Hobbit better than I liked the at least the first quarter of the Lord of the Rings book. And I do not like the Hobbit trilogy because the book was not long enough for them to justify a trilogy.
Okay.
I'm not really super into the whole. I've noticed this. There are people out there that are super into Renaissance, fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons, that stuff, all that cool stuff. And I like that too. That's really cool. I like the whole, the Skyrim. I'm going to call it the Skyrim. The Elder Scrolls Skyrim stuff, all that.
Yeah.
Castles, knights, kings, dragons, whatever. I like that. That's cool. But it's not really what I'm into. It's if you hear a song, you're like, oh, yeah, that's a good song. I like that song. But it's not the kind of song you would listen to while you're riding by yourself in the car.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it. I am more like a Fallout person, post-apocalyptic, guns, being creative, surviving.
I can see that. I mean, I like post-apocalyptic, lore, Fallout, Mad Max. Those are the outfits are always
Mad Max. I like Mad Max. I love I Am Legend. The book was better. The book was way better. The book was way better than the movie.
Or zombie type, or viruses or some shit like that.
In I Am Legend, they're not zombies. In the movie, they're ghouls, but in the book, they're vampires.
Yeah, yeah.
In the book, it goes into more detail. Hold on. Yeah? Hold on, give me. Hold on, I'll be right back, guys. My niece needs something. Y'all go ahead and talk about something.
Talk about something.
Okay. All right. What anime do you not like? It's just like it's not that great, guys. It really isn't.
So growing up, like the animes that I used to watch were all your like basic ones, like Naruto, Death Note, like all that. The one that I watched all the way through and still was like, I really don't get why y'all are watching this, was like One Punch Man. Like I could
Really?
I really could not get into One Punch Man at all. And people are gonna hate me for that because I know it's great, like it is. It just wasn't for me.
All right, I'm sorry, I'm back. My sister's visiting with my niece and nephew, and they're decluttering her old room, and there's some of my stuff in there.
Gotcha.
All right, so I'm sorry. What was I talking about before I left?
You were.
Oh, right. I Am Legend. So
yeah.
In I Am Legend, the book, the reason why it's called I Am Legend is because he is infamous amongst that community of monsters for kidnapping them and running experiments on them.
Oh, okay.
And they actually capture him and they kill him, and it ends with him being executed because in their minds he's the monster. And in one of the bonus features in the Blu-ray or the DVD, they explain like when they got infected and transformed, they saw each other as normal human beings, and they would see people that weren't infected as monsters, and that's why they would attack them.
Wow.
Okay, that's a totally different story than the movie.
No, that just changed the whole.
That sounds way better.
Right. Well, I mean, it wasn't a bad movie. It's just that they were more like vampires. That's why, like in the movie, they couldn't go out and they couldn't go out in the sunlight.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that makes a lot. I mean, I kind of got the idea of it for like I Am Legend, but now I'm like hearing the book and then the movie. I'm like, okay, this is opposite of what they are about.
I think it's called like Omega Man or The Last Man on Earth, but I don't know if they. I know because I Am Legend. I don't know if that's the actual name of the book because I Am Legend and a couple other movies are based off that particular book. I'll have to look it up and send it to you.
Okay. Well, we were talking about like animes that we just couldn't get into. He was talking about like One Punch Man. You know, it's just not his type of anime.
You know which anime I expressed this a lot on Facebook. The one anime I could never ever get into was Pokemon.
Okay, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Formula. It's just the same formula. I love Digimon more. Like when I was a kid, or even even middle school, it's like either like Digimon or Pokemon. Everyone was like loving Pokemon, and I'm like, you watch one episode, it's pretty much the same after that.
All right, to address the comment real quick from Mr. Downtime Gaming, Omega Man and I Am Legend have the same core story, but they are different in where one is more religious and the other one is more. The guy's atheist and he's more scientific. Well, okay, Pokemon, to go with Pokemon, and I'm not a big fan of the games either, because there's a lot of people. I'm a gamer. I love gaming. I love playing all kinds of video games. I don't stick to one thing. I don't just stick to RPGs or shooters. I like some sports games. You know, I like all kinds of things. But I really did not. I liked Pokemon Red, Blue, and Gold and Silver. But after that, I just didn't like it anymore. Because and people give Call of Duty a lot of shit for being repetitive and being the same crap over and over and over and over and over. But Pokemon is literally the same shit every time. It's you choose one of 3 starters, you catch a bunch of wild animals by throwing objects at them, you're fighting people that run gyms, you're fighting against the cartel of the region, you're literally killing other people's pets and then stealing their money.
It's animal abuse.
Dude, it is like Pokemon is cockfighting for kids. It really is. My pets are killing your pets. Why do you think in the original Pokemon games when you lost, the character blacked out and suddenly he wakes up in the hospital with half his money gone?
Yup.
You're not wrong, but you're also not right. I shouldn't laugh.
It's the truth. Why do you think they reduced it now? Why do you think you always lost money when you lost the Pokemon battle? Why? That's why it was so crucial for you to win. Like, oh no, I don't want to lose half my money. You wake up as soon as all your Pokemon are done, you wake up in a hospital with half your money gone. You got mugged.
Yeah.
You got mugged.
Usually we call that.
What kind of healthcare system is this?
Like, is there a way I cannot get mugged and you won't take half my wallet, please? Thank you.
That's why I like Digimon better, because like it just had a better plot and story and characters, and it wasn't like repetitive towards is for Pokemon, or not as repetitive.
Okay, so what is y'all's like least favorite thing about video games today?
DLC.
They've definitely they've definitely changed over the past like 20 years. Obviously, you know, you have better graphics, all that other stuff, but like my like least favorite thing is having to upgrade your character. So like you're going through the story and they're like, okay, you have to, like, in order to be able to defeat this boss, you have to be like a certain level, but you have to upgrade this and that and this and that other thing or whatever, and you have to pay to be able to do those things in the game. I'm like, no, just like let me play the game straight through. Like, I don't care about like I was playing Spider-Man. Okay, the new Spider-Man game that came out. I had anticipated this game, like really wanted to play, and as soon as I started playing it, they were like, I got stuck on this one part where like you literally are fighting like 50 different people at one time, and it's like the only way you can beat this part is like literally if you go back and upgrade. I'm like, yo, I've been playing this game for like 3 hours now. Like, I can't do this. I need y'all to move along.
Right. Well, yeah, like the upgrading, the progression in some games is a pain in the ass, but I will take that over. Like, look at Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 came out, and it was a great game. It was a really good game, and I was happy with it. I didn't have problems with Resident Evil 6 or 5, but Resident Evil 7 was really good. And then you finish the game, and then you come to find out that that's not even the true ending. The true ending is in the DLC that's coming out later on in the year. Yeah, the DLC was free, but that's still bullshit. Why am I having to pay to see the real ending when I got the game? I can understand some DLC adds to the game, and that's fine. Yeah. That's really fine. Don't get me wrong. I buy DLC all the time for certain games, like Dragon Ball FighterZ. I buy DLC, and I bought the DLC for the Power Rangers fighting game, and I bought DLC for other games, but I hate it to where you have to have DLC to get the full game. Like I heard Assassin's Creed has done that shit too.
Yeah,
they have done that shit. So has Mass Effect. I'm gonna go on a small rant here. I am a huge Mass Effect fan. I loved 1. I played 2 so many times. It's not even funny, and I was so hyped up for 3, and I got the collector's edition, and I have other words about the collector's editions, which I'm so pissed at. But I was prepared. I was like, 1 and 2 was great. I was so hyped for 3, and then when I played 3, it was so short. It was unbelievable short, and then the ending didn't make sense. And that's why I get pissed off a couple of times when it comes to pre-orders, because they totally push the pre-orders and the collector's edition, especially if you're a huge fan of the series. And then when you get it, and it turns out to be like shit. It's absolute shit. And that's what I felt like happened to Mass Effect 3. And then when I got the DLC, and I'm like, you know what? This DLC should have been already in the game. It added like way more hours to the game, and I'm like, so like I got the collector's edition, so therefore I got the DLC with it. But for other people, it's like, you mean I have to pay for like another like $40 more for all this other DLC? This is some bullshit. And I'm like, I have to fucking agree. That DLC should have been already in the game. And the fact that they just took it out, it was a slap to the face to me, honestly. And I love BioWare. I love their games. I love Mass Effect. I loved the Knights of the Republic, and I loved when they did Dragon Age. I'm a whore for Dragon Age. Whore. I'm a whore for Dragon Age. But when they did that to like Mass Effect 3, and then we got Andromeda, which I'm not going to get into that because that triggers me so much.
Oh, you just had somebody ask you Mr. Piccolo just asked, what do you think about Mass Effect Andromeda? He just asked that.
No, I'm not going to get into that. I will. It's oh my god, it's just so. Oh my god, I'm fucking angry.
One game, and I kind of want to go now that since you went into a rant, I kind of want to go into a rant again with Capcom. Oh my god, Capcom, you have really pissed me off so much.
Okay, don't even get me started.
They pissed me off with Marvel. What?
You never know if they're good. You never know if, like, pre-order games are good, and they depend on the fans to do these pre-orders. And then we get like a shitty ass game. Like, look at Mass Effect Andromeda. It's just like they hyped that shit so well. And then when you played the the demo for it, it looked pretty good, but you didn't really know much of the plot line. And then when you go ahead and play the game, it was a hodgepodge of a mess. And they just recycled the characters from Mass Effect 2 and just put them in Mass Effect 3. And it was just really, really bad. Fucking hate Andromeda.
Damn. Here, folks. Saki Kitty hates Andromeda.
I hate Andromeda. It was bad.
The one game that I hate the most, that I cannot absolutely stand. Actually, it's two games, but I'm gonna go into one real quick. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Fuck that game.
That game
was bad things. It's not even funny.
That game was trash. It was the biggest disappointment. First off, they were just trying to shove an agenda down everyone's throats. There are no X-Men in the game. There was only Marvel Cinematic characters in there, even though they said, "Oh, we're gonna have X-Men characters." But the biggest problem I had with them is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was a really good game. Yeah, it was another separate game with more characters, but in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, in the storyline, they have characters like Black Panther in the story of the game. They had other characters like the boss, Sigma and Ultron. They were in the game. Some characters were part of the storyline of the game, but they are not playable. To play as some of these characters, you had to buy the DLC.
Yeah.
Why on God's green earth are these characters in the game, but they're DLC? No, right. Even the gameplay engine for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was trash. It felt sluggish. It didn't feel as smooth as Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It just felt bad. It didn't run as well. Maybe because I had issues with the game, but it was just, I didn't like it. It was trash. I was pissed. The collector's edition was trash. The figures didn't look that good. The Infinity Stones look like goddamn Easter eggs.
Oh yeah, that's that. I remember it was like the collector's edition, and then they showed what the Infinity Stones. Yeah, you were right. They were Easter eggs. People were pissed.
Right.
Yeah, this is why
they look like genuine, like stones, like gems and stuff. They had like rough cuts and everything. They look like they were just pried out of a mountain.
From what they said, what they were planning on doing, it was same thing what happened for Fallout 76. You know, especially with the collector's edition in the bag, you're supposed to get like a canvas bag, and then you end up getting this little dinky, thin plastic bag. Everybody was mad, and that's what that's why sometimes I hate about pre-orders, is that they don't always promise of what they're going to give you. Another, a bad example was like Alien Color Marines or something, and that was years ago, and then they had a demo, and it was pretty good, and then that was it, and then they released it, and it was nothing like the demo. It was like they scrapped everything. It was a mess of a game.
Fallout 76 was a really bad game. Yes. It was glitchy as shit. It didn't work. Nothing on it was what they said it was.
It's just, I mean, it's not the first time they've done that shit too. They had problems. Bethesda had problems before. Games, pre-orders, collector's editions. We're promised something and then we're not. That's why I'm always like suspicious now when it comes to collectors.
And I don't want to hear the shit from anybody like on the comments saying, well, you know, the companies are just trying to make their money and they have to do DLC because it costs time and money to get everything done. You can
Witcher.
do a really good game. Look at God of War,
Yes.
The Last of Us,
Yeah, last good.
Uncharted.
Okay, so what about Uncharted was I think Uncharted low key was like super slept on. Um because I've played every last one of them and they've all been so interesting. Like the storylines, the character development, all of that is like really, really good. But what do you think about games like Mortal Kombat where they instead of coming out with another game, they wait a couple years and like over the years they just have DLC characters.
Mm,
Are they?
I've always like not really liked Mortal Kombat for that. Instead of them coming out with like another game, they just kind of um, add more characters to it.
right.
I mean, I see
And
what you're. I feel the same way for sports games, like Madden's. They always, like, from what I can tell, they have like new games each year or something. I'm like, why
yeah,
don't you just up the stats? You know, that just makes more sense.
yeah, like so Madden, I will always buy. Well, now recently, I will always buy the new Madden games and 2K games because they do upgrade um, kind of like the physical aspects of the game every once in a while. It's the same thing. It's literally like Pokemon. You're still playing with just about the same people that are still in the games. But Madden has started to step over and add like storylines and stuff to their games, and I think that
Oh,
that's what's most I think that that's what's like most interesting. So like I want to say not the newest one. I haven't played the newest one yet, but the last two Maddens that I've played, they've had a continuous storyline with um, I think it's called Long Shot, and that's pretty interesting to play. It gives a little bit of a better feel to it. Same with like NBA 2K, like they have a storyline as well. Um, but once you beat the storyline, it's just the same game, just with I guess better mechanics.
Well, like
Um,
they started adding storylines to Madden because they always had stories, kind of like not big stories but little stories. Like when NCAA football was still a thing, you could play NCAA. You went through like the college experience with your character,
yeah,
and then you and then like there was all these stories and stats, and then you could carry that character over to Madden, where the story wasn't as like complex as it was like in NCAA football. Like you had like, oh, these colleges are, you had all these different like news articles and things about your character. If you broke like a record, like breaking news, this Madden was kind of like a continuation of and I miss NCAA football. NCAA football was a better football game than Madden.
I completely agree with you.
But I mean, Pokemon is guilty of DLC as well. You have the new expansion pack, which is $30. Let's say you have both games, that's $120. If you had to get both expansion packs, that's another $60. Not to mention $20 a year, I believe, for the Pokemon Home app if you want to transfer your Pokemon from your Pokemon Go app and the 3DS and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. What is that? That's already $200.
Hmm.
that's insane.
What platform do you think was worse with the DLC um, content? Like PlayStation, Nintendo,
Like,
Xbox.
That's kind of hard to answer because DLC on Nintendo was almost non-existent. Um, PlayStation, yeah, it's kind of hard to say because it just depends on you and what kind of games you like.
Yeah,
it also depends on like the company. Like EA is fucking terrible. They're notorious for a lot of.
Oh
You know,
yeah, like I'm looking at the Sims 4, and for each one of the packs is like $30.
wow.
yeah, it's really insane that that's why like when it comes to people who do like PCs like we don't steal, but it's totally crazy when it comes to DLC. It's just another way to like get money, and you know, I can understand in a way, but I honestly think you should get the whole concept of the game, the whole story of the game, and if DLC is just stuff for extra, you know, not something that is needed for you to understand the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, like, 'cause with Mass Effect 3, with the DLC, I honestly think all of it should have been in there in the first place.
You know which game did that shit where you need the damn DLC, and they are guilty as shit, but I love this game to death. Batman
Which
Arkham
one?
City.
Oh, yep. There it is.
Batman Arkham City, in my humblest opinion, is one of it is the greatest licensed video game I have ever played. It is hands down one of the best video games in any generation I have ever played. It is amazing. The gameplay is great. The story is amazing. The Easter eggs are even great. Everything about it is just amazing, but it is so damn guilty for relying on DLC. Because in the game, if you don't have the Catwoman DLC, that's like 20% of the game. You can't play her version of the story. And she plays a major role in Arkham City.
Yeah. Yup. Now, so like,
what was it, when Mass Effect came out 3, and then people were so upset with the ending? I remember even contacting the BBB because I was so angry that the fans were so angry because the ending, if you read the books, the lores, and everything, it made no sense at the ending, and we were promised multiple endings. Instead, we got 3 different colors. People complained to BioWare to fix it, including calling out the BBB and getting the BB Bureau trying to fix the situation because it was so sloppy how it was done. It was crazy. And it actually works. They actually did fix it, which I was surprised about. And it's,
Hey,
I have to say,
Saki Kitty, your internet's kind of choppy. You're coming out like really choppy. Like you sound like T-Pain.
all right, let me hang up and maybe I just have it back and I can call me again.
Yeah, just no. You can actually join once you hang up.
Okay.
So I will say one game that I believe got DLC right. There's one game that in my mind they got DLC right was Rock Band.
yes.
Like, for those of you that don't know this, Rock Band has 4 different versions. They have lots and lots of different Rock Bands out. But there's a 4th Rock Band out. And so all the DLC, except for maybe a few songs, and for like a few songs they couldn't carry the licenses over. For every DLC song you've bought since the first Rock Band on the PS3, carry over to the next game.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, you can download some of the songs from the disc as a DLC pack to the latest Rock Band. And that's the thing that I love. Rock Band, all the songs that I bought since the first Rock Band, I still have access to.
I love Rock Band. Is it
Rock
better?
Band.
Yeah, you sound way better now.
Okay. I don't know if that was. Let me see if the video is going to be good.
Yup.
Still kind of choppy.
Yeah, I already took the video off the stream anyway. But
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's I don't know. I think it's like my dad's streaming and my mom's watching TV. It's probably like the cause of a lot
everybody's streaming today.
of things. I know, right? Like, it's like for me to do like podcasts, I guess. Well, it's dead of the night for me.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And it's just crazy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, we've been doing them at 5.
Yeah.
But I told you Wednesday, hey, we're gonna do it again on Saturday, and you forgot. You forgot.
It's like, I don't know if we were going to do, like, podcasts, like, at 5. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what was going to go on.
Video games. I'm a big fan of video games, but we were talking about which animes we can get into earlier, and I said Pokemon. But however, I will say this about Pokemon: the manga for Pokemon Adventure manga, is really good.
See, I didn't even know that they had a manga for Pokemon. Wow.
So, okay, so in the Pokemon manga, it's about, okay, the first one is about Red, and he is like this kid that's showing off his Pokemon. His very first Pokemon was Poliwhirl, who rescued him. He was drowning and Poliwhirl rescued him, so that was his first Pokemon. And so he runs into Mew in the story, and Team Rocket's chasing him. So he runs into, like, a lot of things happen in the very beginning. And so he decides to break into Professor Oak's laboratory, and he accidentally releases all of his Pokemon. And Professor Oak catches him, and he's like, oh, you got to help me catch my Pokemon that you released, and then I'm going to send your ass to jail. And so he helps him he helps him catch all the Pokemon back. And the last final Pokemon is a Bulbasaur, and he's like, well, that Bulbasaur seems to be attached to you, so you can have him. So his first Pokemon was actually, that he got from Oak, his first Pokemon was Poliwhirl, and then he had a Nidoran, I think. I gotta look at the book again. I know and then he got Bulbasaur. He didn't get Charmander, like it said in the anime. He got Bulbasaur, and then he captures Pikachu, and Pikachu kind of becomes his sidekick. Even in the manga, Pikachu's a dick, but you find out in the manga that half the gym leaders are part of the Team Rocket organization, and in the manga, they're more of a cartel.
Oh, damn.
This is getting dark.
And, like, and then he goes to war with Team Rocket with the other half of the gym leaders because they've been taking over the region. So it's never explained, but there's a theory because there's so many clues, including in the manga. Because they were cloning Mew to create Mewtwo because the professor, Lieutenant Blaine, no, not Lieutenant Blaine, what was his name? Blaine, the fire gym leader? So in the game, it's hinted that he's a scientist, but in the manga, it is confirmed that he's a scientist, and he is the one that created Mewtwo because he's dying from some disease. He's dying from a disease. And Mewtwo was it was commissioned by Team Rocket, but he had created Mewtwo to help cure his disease. And all the Dittos in the world are failed clones of Mew, which also explains why Mew, Mewtwo, and Ditto are the only 3 Pokemon in existence that can use the transform.
Lots of theories.
And so that's a really big theory. It's not confirmed, but it's there. You can kind of tell that is the actual theory. And then the Elite Four are not part of the Pokemon League. They're actually like a Pokemon cartel above Team Rocket. And so, in a different one, in Gold and Silver, you find out that Giovanni is also dying from the same disease. And that he left because he was going to die. So that's why he abandoned Team Rocket in Gold and Silver. And so his lieutenants take over, and they try to trap Arceus, and Arceus creates a clone of Dialga and Palkia. But while this is going on, Giovanni runs into Celebi, and Celebi cures him of his. They describe it as cancer in the manga.
Wow,
it's actually really deep. It's really cool. It's really good. Like the Pokemon in there, like they're much more like whenever they take out a Pokeball, they can actually see the Pokemon inside the Pokeball. That's how they know who's in the Pokeball.
Oh, okay, so that makes more sense.
And like they acknowledge that Pokemon battling is more. It is a sport, and it's very dangerous. Like Pokemon actually die. I know y'all can probably hear screaming. That's my nieces and nephews. They're here. You know, we got to stream from the house. Can't quarantine.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, but Pokemon the manga, I recommend it for any, especially like if you really like deep. Like it's a children's manga, but it's a really well written manga. Like you can like a story for kids as long as it's really, if it's well written. There's nothing wrong with liking stuff that is meant for kids. Just look at Disney movies. All of those, their target audience is children, but yet stuff like Toy Story has like deeper, darker meanings behind them, and they make sense.
To me, that's one of the shows I watch, like Gumball, The Adventures of Gumball. Like they have a lot of kids humor in there, but they have some really dark humor that only adults will get.
Oh no, I refuse to watch anything that comes out on Cartoon Network after I turn 27.
Like I love Gumball. Gumball is just so realistic on like situations. They also did Regular Show, and which I actually like that one as well too. But there's like Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy. That should have been for adults.
One of the greatest shows, one of the best shows I've seen recently that is heavily slept on is Gravity Falls.
That's on my bucket list of things to watch. Like people like, you need to watch Gravity Falls, and I'm like, okay.
Right. No. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I don't know if you ever read the manga. Somebody brought it up.
No, I have it. Yeah.
It is much darker. Like he actually sends people to like the shadow. He kills them. The shadow realm is like essentially the afterlife. It's hell.
Mhm.
But like in the manga, it's actually kind of hinted that the pharaoh is gay for little Yugi.
Oh.
I don't think it is. It's just, it's very I remember one part that a lot of fans got angry is I guess the friendship that's going on with Yugi and Joey, because in the manga, in the translation, there was the part where Joey was being mind controlled by Merrick, and they were, doing a duel of Shadow Realm, whatever. But apparently, while during the end of the duel, in the English version, Yugi said, it's like, hey, dude, you're my friend. I'm not gonna harm you, in that sense. But in the manga, he says, Joey, I love you. And a lot of people will probably assume it's like some gay or like, oh, it's two guys that love each other. But I think it was just more of like a friendship of like, hey, dude, I love you. I can't harm you. But they censored that in the English version for whatever reason, probably because they don't want like a guy.
I wouldn't take that I wouldn't take that too personally, honestly, because in Pokemon they censored the rice balls for sandwiches. So I mean, you take that. It is what it is.
Well, they've done that with what was it? It's like Inside and Out. It was like that Pixar movie. They switched different types of food and vegetables just to make it more appealing towards different cultures. So that's not too unusual, but I'm pretty sure the reason why they decided to go ahead and switch that instead of Yugi saying I love you to Joey.
It just depends on the country, because the way like the censorship in every country is different. Like people are like, well, in America they censor everything. That's not necessarily true. Look at Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in Japan versus America. In America, Grand Theft Auto has more explicit, like, like sex shops and all that other shit. It's completely out in the open. It's there. We're not hiding it. It is what it is. This is America. That's how things are here. In Japan, they censored a lot of that.
Well, Japan's if you look at some of the Dragon Ball episodes, the early ones in the 90s, there was a lot of adult jokes, people showing their butts. I mean, there's a lot of adult humor into it. They toned that down, and they also got rid of it because the censorship of Japan
got pretty high up there. They don't want to show that to kids or.
Well, that's because the way it works with Dragon Ball. I don't know about other animes, but with Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball that came out the manga came out in 1984 and the anime came out in 1986. The manga and anime were directed towards teens, but in the United States, because it's in the format, it's anime, but since it's cartoon, and I know a lot of people are going to get mad that I use that word, but because it looks like a cartoon, the target audience is going to be smaller children and not teens like in Japan. So they had to change that because it's a lot different where, you have shows like Family Guy here that are for teens and young adults where they don't have that censored.
It's mainly of the people who buy the rights to it as well. If you have it for a younger audience, your audience will expand. And that's one of the reasons. It's also one of the reasons why when it comes to the LGBT community and putting that into a lot of shows, they always tone it down because the shows, they want to show them also in Europe. In Europe, standards are different than American standards. And in Europe, they don't want that to be shown, a lot of the LGBT. So if they want to sell and market and to have this shown on a broader scale, they have to tone down a lot of the LGBT.
Well, also in Japan as well, where a lot of that stuff is, and believe it or not, people, in Japan, a lot of the LGBT content is still very much frowned upon in Japan.
Yeah, it very much is. As much as like there's like books and our manga and everything, when it comes to like it being on television, it's a big no-no. It's a huge no-no.
And well, we were talking about censorships. Digimon is in the English dub. I like the English dub, but if you really watch it and pay attention to it, the English dub is actually really bad. Because they're constantly making like sarcastic remarks and they're constantly Digimon, if you really watch it and pay attention, it is a really dark anime because the Digimon die throughout the anime. They're revived at the end, but they die. Like there's a scene where they're fighting Metal Seedramon and he shoots his beam out of his nose and Whalemon jumps in and takes the hit and it pierces through the side of his body and it comes out the other side and he dies. That's in the children's version. And then War Greymon does this tornado move and goes right through his nose and like tears him to shreds.
I mean, that's what happened into a lot of the when Sailor Moon came out in the early 90s. In the first season, technically all the scouts died, but in the English version, they just got captured. And it's totally different between getting captured and then dying. So I mean, they censored a lot of stuff in
what I want to know is
cousins. Neptune and Uranus, they were when the first season 3 came out, they were close cousins instead of them being lovers. And it just made everything really weird because it's like, okay, so lesbians is a big no-no, but like really close cousins is A-okay? All right, America. That's fine.
Let's not forget the fact that Ash in Pokemon got murked, though, too. Like, my boy Hole died and got brought back to life.
Yeah, in the movie, right? In the movie, he dies.
Yeah.
That was, like, the only thing that I remember. I could be wrong, right? Or he did die.
No, he got turned into stone.
Yeah, that's death.
Yeah, no, I'm saying he got turned into stone. I don't know what you consider death, but I think that's pretty close to it.
Speaking of death, you heard what happened, what was it, the North Korea leader?
My boy's a vegetable.
Yeah, he's a vegetable.
Yeah, everybody's been talking about that all over social media.
It's still unknown if he is dead or not, because like apparently he had a heart surgery or some type of surgery,
and they don't have the best healthcare or healthcare in general up there. So apparently it was a botched heart surgery. And then apparently China sent some people up there to, I guess, help out or see what's going on. Because they have a relationship. And from what I heard, I hear that he's dead, or people claiming he's dead. And I heard that he's a vegetable now. Like, it's basically his brain is no longer there. You know, he might as well just be dead.
That's nuts.
That is
so
nuts,
funny
especially
because,
what's
like,
going on in these wars. It's like, holy shit, are you telling me, like, he's fucking dead or a vegetable?
Well,
what's going to happen?
It popped up on my Facebook earlier, and I was sitting there, and it's so sad because the first thought that I had was, yo, where's Seth Rogen and James Franco at?
Right? Like every time somebody mentions Kim Jong-un, I think of the interview, and I think back to the scene where he's crying in the movie. Towards the end, I go back to the scene where he's crying. He's like, margaritas aren't gay. Margaritas.
Yeah.
And then and then it goes to like the end where they blow up, and then they play the by Katy Perry the fireworks song. I'm not sure how it goes. It's like, I love Katy Perry. I love margaritas. Margaritas aren't gay.
It's pretty crazy that considering everything that's going on in the world, and we have like this shit over here, because we don't know what North Korea is going to do after this. Like, are they just gonna like pretend he's alive and just fake all of it?
Well, they could just throw a suit on him. They just stick their hand up his ass and move his mouth like a puppet.
Like a puppetry or something, or just get somebody that looks like him and put some sunglasses and be like, I'm alive, bitches! You know?
One thing, and I will say this, and I don't want to talk about them that much, but one thing I will say about North Korea is that if their leader dies, they are really quick to replace him.
Yeah.
Well, somebody is going to be... I keep hearing that it might be a woman, which
he has a sister who's next in line.
Yeah, which I'm like, did she do it? Like,
and the crazy thing is, she's crazier than he is.
Oh my god, no.
But Dee on YouTube says, I've heard that boys love in quotations, boys love mangas and anime are very popular. I've actually never heard of that.
Boys love manga is like yaoi or shonen ai. It's just basically guys loving each other or liking each other. And there's a lot of hints of some major bromance. It is very popular in Japan, but they're only in manga form from what I can tell. It's really hard for it to be transferred into television.
It just sounds like an anime where there's too much male bonding.
Yeah, it's yaoi. It's guys. And it's also sometimes the same thing with yuri, which is girls love, or girls liking each other. And I have my own personal opinions of it. I'm not against it. It's just that when it comes to male or shows that are more male driven, it's very straight. Or cis types of relationships, which is perfectly fine. And, sometimes the main character will have multiple types of love interests. And it's always, it's hyped up and everything, and there's plenty of harems types of stories, like Monster Matsuni, which I actually really enjoy, and also How to Not Summon a Demon Lord, or a Demon Overlord.
Man, can we get some OGs in here, like Tenchi Muyo, Ranma and a half?
Like, I'm not a big fan of Tenchi Muyo. There's some harem stuff I don't like, especially when the protagonist or the main guy is like a bucket. Like no personality. There's nothing inside, or they're too OP. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, I like Ranma. Ranma's a really good one because
Ranma's a classic one.
It's got the boy and the girl harem because he can transform into a girl.
Yeah, it's very. I like Ramen. Ramen and a half is actually really nicely done. But there's also lots of reverse harems
that have wonderful storylines. Like there's this one which I heard a rumor, which was just called Blackbird. It was a manga, and I think there's like 18 volumes. And then there's also Vampire Nights, which now it's actually the author is now continuing it last year. She added 2 more books to it, which like it was on hiatus for years, and now it's coming back. But besides the point, there's lots of reverse harem books for women or for girls, and the storylines are really passionate, and they're very passionate. There's lots of different types of guys and storyline and romance and betrayal. It's very good, but they never get animates.
Just real quick. Want to acknowledge some comments on my personal I got to take off my personal Facebook account because it's not working out. But for those of you commenting on my personal Facebook, we can't actually see any of the comments on the live stream. I don't know why, how that works, because I know why, because my account is set on private. So if you're gonna comment, please. I see you, Trunks and 17. Comment on the actual video on the Geeks 5 Hour YouTube page. I mean, not YouTube page, whatever. YouTube, Facebook, Mixer, Twitch, whatever. I don't care. I do not like, and I'm gonna say this, I do not like animes with romance in them. That's why I like Dragon Ball Z so much, because the romances they do have happen during the time skips.
They're not heavily. That's what it is.
Right. Well, in Naruto, they do have some romances, and but they're like, Naruto was like in love with Sakura, and Hinata was in love with Naruto, and I thought that was okay. Like, they didn't invest heavily into it, but there are like animes like Inuyasha where I can't get into it because the whole romantic aspect is like the big investment of the whole thing.
We have to realize Inuyasha is Dragon Ball Z for girls.
I thought that's what Sailor Moon was.
No. Sailor Moon is Sailor Moon was ahead of its time in a lot of aspects. I could go on for hours on just Sailor Moon. But Inuyasha it's mainly, for what people call it, is Dragon Ball Z for chicks. That's basically what it is. I couldn't get into Inuyasha that much. It just wasn't for me. But there's like some other manga that I absolutely love, especially with the reverse harems, which they were nicely done, but they never get a lot of screen time or TV screen time because there's not. When it comes to harems, they mainly go for the male audience, but never for the female audience. And there's actually a huge audience for females for these types of shows, but they never get any type of screen time, and it's only in books. So really, for me, it kind of sucks, and I hate Japan for doing that, because I'm like, give me some fucking reverse harems. I like harems, and as long as they have a good storyline, but give me some reverse ones. Like, broaden your scale. As much as I love anime, it is very heavily male audiences are driven by by males on making anime, which it kind of sucks.
Well, it's not. Well, one anime that I really like, and I guess it could be targeted towards male, because I honestly, and people are going like, oh, big shocker there. I don't like a lot of new anime. I really don't, because a lot of fans ruin stuff for me. But one that I really got into was My Hero Academia, and I feel like that one is not just targeted towards guys, but it could be, I guess. Because you have the really good female characters in there that are pretty strong. They're pretty independent, I guess. In Dragon Ball, they had their first in Dragon Ball Super, they had the first female Super Saiyan, Caulifla, and then they had the female equivalent of Broly, who was like a tank. But what about you, DJ Comett? What kind of animes are you into?
Like I was saying earlier, I was super into all of the your kind of, I guess you would say, your basic animes like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Death Note. I was into One Piece for a minute. I watched a lot of the stuff that would pop up on Cartoon Network at night, when Toonami was lit.
Yu Yu Hakusho was my jam. I loved Yu Yu Hakusho.
Watched a lot of that. Didn't really I wasn't really into too much anime. I tried to get into some of the stuff that was popular, but like I said, I just couldn't get into it. Like, I really fucked with Naruto for a long time. Like that was my show.
One show that I actually, or anime that I like, was Kill la Kill. When I first saw like the previews of it, it totally turned me off with a lot of the itchiness of it. But when the fandom died down, I went ahead and I decided to like check it out, and it wasn't bad. It was actually really good. There was actually a good, decent plot line to it all. But you know, when it comes to like sometimes ichi animes, when it's mainly for a male-driven audience, it's just harder for me to enjoy them. There's only very few that I actually enjoy.
All right, this is a weird one. Would Samurai Jack be considered anime?
Yes.
Yes, I would say so.
I have seen every episode. Like that show, I used to watch that show like it was a religion. Like I loved Samurai Jack.
No, it is a really good one. Like, okay, so what people consider anime is because it comes from Japan, but really anime is the art style or the storytelling of and Mr. Piccolo says Big O, that's one of his favorites. Because one show that I really, really love, and it's very controversial, is The Boondocks.
Yeah.
I really hope. I want them to come back.
It's done. It's done. They're done with it.
Aww.
Boondocks though was literally so far ahead of its time.
It really was. It was everything that had to do if you're a black person in this country, all the stereotypes, all the racism, everything that has to do, and with not just like one group of like everyone as together as a whole. If you're like, because if you're a person of color in this country, you're kind of, it's not really like to, a lot of people don't like to admit it, but you're kind of treated differently or seen differently. And the Boondocks, you had two characters. You had Huey, who was the rational, educated character, and then you had Riley, the less, what would you call him? He was kind of like every stereotype.
Yeah, people have. Every hood black.
What people will see. It's pretty. I like the art style of the Boondocks. I really wish that I don't know what was the studio who did it. I wonder if they made other. I think they made other different animes. I think on Netflix too.
The Boondocks was originally created by, I think the dude's name was like Aaron McGerber, something like that. And he actually originally wrote it as as kind of like a comic strip series.
It was a political comic strip. Yes.
Yeah, a political. Yeah, and so then Regina King, shout out her, who played the voices of both Riley and Huey. She took on, or they kind of all took on that the show, and apparently it had failed at first or something like that, and then they ended up bringing it back. But it's like, I mean, like I said, it was way ahead of their time. I mean, Huey was 10 and Riley was 8, but like, you followed literally like these kids around in a suburban white neighborhood who, it was great. That was a perfect show. But I don't know who made or who produced it. I do know it was Aaron McGerber, who was the one that actually like created the cartoon itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the cartoon. It's just so well done.
Right.
And it kind of gets me upset that they don't come back, but I understand if they're like, "Yo, we're done with it. We
we're pretty much through, or creativity is, gone, and they just move on to like a new project.
Well, Carlos, shout out to Carlos, by the way, who just commented. Shout out, and he says real quick, Boondocks is coming back on HBO Max.
Oh shit!
Oh,
you say that? That better be true. You
are
don't
they
just
coming back?
that shit up.
Are they coming back with like new episodes, like new content, or are they just gonna replay the same episodes?
I'm not too sure. I'm just looking at the comment he posted. I will research it later. Hopefully, they do come out with new episodes.
I hope they come back. I really do.
Boondocks is one of those shows that
it was
arguably yes, it was exactly ahead of its time. At the same time, I don't think it was ahead of its time. I think it came out right when it needed to.
Yeah.
There was one movie that I absolutely loved, and it got underrated because of Despicable Me, because the storylines were very similar, but it was Megamind. Megamind is definitely was underappreciated, and it would probably be more appreciated now than it was when it came out, especially with the whole incel community and the nice guy, the whole, have you ever seen like nice guy posts, or type it in on YouTube, and like the comments are just fucking crazy in the videos. It's entertaining, but it's some of the shit that I have to deal with. But Megamind definitely had a lot of hints about the incel community before the incel community became known, which was really interesting. And Megamind to me was like ahead of its time, and it's now underappreciated, but it's a great movie.
No, I think Megamind was a really good movie. Just real quick to address with Carlos, he just sent another comment.
New content for Boondocks.
Yes, he says new content for the Boondocks.
So I just looked it up. The production companies for Boondocks was Adelaide Productions, Rebel Base Productions, Dongwu Animation, MOI Animation, and Studio Mirror. They only had 4 seasons. That's crazy. That is crazy. I did not know that they only had 55 episodes. It seems like they had so much more because I used to watch it religiously. But yeah, here it is. Yeah, HBO Max is picking up a reboot.
A reboot?
Reboot.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's going to be totally new?
Yeah, it says on September 18, 2019, it was announced that HBO Max had picked up the reboot with a 2-season order. Each season is set to consist of 12 episodes.
Okay, that's not bad. That's good, and I hope that they, if it's a reboot, I want to see what this would, I wonder if they're going to use the same voice actors.
They can't use John Witherspoon for Robert Jebediah Freeman anymore because he passed away.
Yeah, that's sad. I heard about that. I was like, damn.
You know what's crazy, though? The guy that plays the voice of Uncle Ruckus had a Kickstarter, and he petitioned for an Uncle Ruckus movie.
I think I saw that.
I was watching videos about that, and he was like, he went to the BET Awards, and he was there talking to different people. He's like, "Oh, how you doing there? Oh, you look beautiful. Like, Bob, I must apologize. The white woman sitting right behind you is even prettier than me." Like, no offense.
Yeah.
It was funny, and the guy, like, he dressed up and he looked exactly like all those like Uncle Ruckus memes of it looks like this big dude as a cosplaying as Uncle Ruckus. That's the actual guy. Like, if I can send you a picture, I'll find it. But like the guy legitimately looked like Uncle Ruckus, and it was great.
You know who
actually?
John Redcorn, the voice actor for John Redcorn.
Yeah.
He looks like John Redcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
at a con, I was like, "You look like John Redcorn," because I am John Redcorn. I'm like, "Oh shit."
Oh, okay. Here, I have a picture of him. I'm gonna send it to you, and I'm gonna post it on the stream real quick. It takes bear with me, folks. It takes a few minutes to add something to the stream because I gotta save it. I'm gonna send it to the group chat real quick so y'all can see the picture.
the three actors, the three main actors that you see in the show, so John Witherspoon, Regina King, and
Oh my God.
the other guy, all of them actually, like, they've acted all together. Soul Plane, I think they were all in Soul Plane. I don't remember if Regina King was in it. But they've acted on Soul Plane. They've also all been on the Wayans Bros on TV on BET. So like they're familiar with each other. So I really do hope that at least Regina King comes back with the voices, and then we get what's the other guy's name? Uncle Ruckus. What is his character's name? Gary Anthony. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. Oh, damn! It's not letting me. I'm sorry, people. It's not letting me. It's not letting me share it on the on the stream. Here, let me get another one. Oh, that's why, because it's a GIF.
Really?
Yeah. I have another one. All
right.
Yeah. I don't want to deprive my audience. Here we go. It's gonna just transition. There you go. The Uncle Ruckus. This was for the Uncle Ruckus movie.
Did it ever happen?
No, the Kickstarter did not reach its goal.
Okay.
Here, y'all can see the whole. It's a movie poster. It was the Uncle Ruckus movie. They were doing a Kickstarter, and he looks just like Uncle Ruckus, which is crazy. It's really cool.
That's actually the guy. That's
the voice actor of Uncle Ruckus. That's actually him.
Yeah, James or Gary Anthony.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, I know. He did a great job, like cosplaying as him. It was great. I love it. It's.
I was like, that's dead on. That's really.
Yeah, because like.
Dead on. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, and people think it's an actual cosplayer. It's not a cosplayer. It's the voice actor.
Yeah.
So that's really well done. I really like that. I'm really excited for the Boondocks to come back.
It was great.
New content. All right, let's go ahead and take that off.
Yeah, we should take that out. We don't want that to be on. Put a picture of me instead.
Okay. Yes.
Some more customers.
Let me go through your Instagram and see what I can find.
Here you go. Just put that there. That will bring in some customers.
Yes, and get me kicked off YouTube.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's not nudity. I mean,
you got me over here feeling like a creep because I got to save the picture to my hard drive and then put it on the studio.
So I'm giving you permission, I guess. I'm not going to take offense to it if that's it. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people who have pictures of me.
They saved your pictures? Here, we're going to put it right there. We're going to put it right there in the center. There you go. Over the Geeks Forever logo.
God. Give something for people to look at. I'm pretty sure there's some lonely souls out there.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
That I'm lonely?
I'm the one that saved the picture.
Oh, Lord.
Man, I tried texting you the other day. It's like, sup? How you been? Good. Oh, damn. Okay, I'll text you later.
You shot a shot. Shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
We're lonely in the
well, we can't really go anywhere either. Like.
No, we can't. It's just
be like, hey, baby, you trying to have a FaceTime date later?
That's right. We can totally do a watch party movie. Look, I got Predator. I'm looking at my actual movies. What do I got? Can't see them from this far.
I love Alien and Predator movies.
Oh,
that's like I like Prometheus. I don't care what people say. That was a really good movie. I like Prometheus. I like Alien Covenant. I'm into the lore of aliens. I read the books. Like, I'm a geek when it comes to like the Alien series. It's not even funny.
I'm a big fan of Alien vs Predator, but one of the movies that I'm probably gonna watch after we're done here is Anchorman, the second one.
Yeah.
I think I've seen the first one.
Dude, the second one is so good. There's a part of the movie where he's handicapped and blind, and so he like adopts a baby shark and starts bottle feeding it. Is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And they had like it's such a great movie. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's such a good movie. Anchorman is such a good. They have two movies and they're really good. Will Ferrell is great in the both. Another movie that I like is called Blockers. It has like a rooster and then it says Blockers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one's really good. Like the whole point of the movie is the daughters are going to prom and the parents are trying to cock block them. It's really good. John Cena's in it. He's pretty funny. In the movie, he's in the movie and he's like his acting is really stiff in the movie, but it's only that way because that's how the character is. No, oh right, okay. Carlos says the name of the baby shark is called Dobie. Oh man! All right, well we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up actually because it's been 2 hours and our audience is starting to dwindle down a bit. We had 15 people at one point watching at the same time. We probably had a few hundred hits, but now we're down to like 6 or 5.
People are getting tired of talking about random shit. I guess
it just spiked. We just gained 20 viewers because I posted your picture. No, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
It's I need to redo that outfit. It's Morgan from
Dee says I'm still here. Yeah, but I'm looking at the live. Okay, so the OBS studio lets me know how long we've been live, and it's been 2 hours, 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Wow.
It's okay. I mean, I was only planning to stay here for like an hour, but we got caught up in like
talking about random shit, and that's why like
shit. We need to have a program so we, we'll know what we're talking about.
Well, no, we did. We were gonna talk. No, because I explained it. I haven't explained it to you how it works. Mr. Piccolo and Didi are still listening. I haven't explained it to you how it works, but I did explain it to DJ Comett. The way it works is when we invite a guest over, we talk about them and what they do in their art or their craft or whatever it is for a few minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes. And then we have some subjects as, helpful hints or whatever. But, it's kind of like to get more of a human aspect, a more personal aspect of our guests so they can know that these people might be artists, DJs, cosplayers. They might be famous. I doubt I'll get anybody famous on this stream. DJ Comet's he's a really cool DJ. He's up and coming. He's great. I'm so happy that he agreed to be on here. That's what we do though. We wanted to get him on here, talk about his art and craft, talk about what it's like to be a DJ, especially now in the crisis, the White Claw crisis. And like I explained to him, about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe talking about, we're going to ask you a couple questions, really, let the people get to know you a bit, talk about what you do, and you can promote whatever you got going on. Speaking of promotion, Saki Kitty is selling face masks. And now with the executive order by that judge or whoever, I don't know their name, you have to wear a face mask in Harris County starting Monday.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start with doing some pre-orders. I had a string of bad luck with my sewing machine. It died on me twice. And for 3 days I could have been sewing and I couldn't be sewing on those days. So it was pretty bad. But Oliver, shout out to Oliver. I don't know if he's still on the stream, but he went ahead and sold me a sewing machine for $40, which is really dirt cheap considering that this sewing machine has about like 59 different types of stitches, and it's a really good brother. So I absolutely loved it. So thank you, Oliver, for selling this machine to me because I needed an upgrade regardless. But and plus I don't have a car right now because it's in the shop. Right.
Yeah. No. Shout out to Oliver for helping out.
Thank you, Oliver. And helping me.
So like going. Okay. Just to So like that's what I was explaining to DJ comment over here. Or what did you say? What was the other name you went by?
Teddy. So
Teddy.
I go by a couple of different monikers. The whole group is called Galaxy Entertainment. That's GALEXY because my name is actually Alex Entertainment. But as a DJ, I go by DJ Comett. As just people talking to me, I go by Teddy. You know, you'll see it soon. Like I said, look out for that logo that's posted on the video right now. It's gonna be everywhere. I
Right.
promise.
Will next time if you're on the podcast again, I'll get a link to your stuff and I'll post it in the description. But yeah, I was I was talking to him and I was telling him, yeah, so the format, the way it works is we have him on here and we talk to him a bit. And then, we talk about like other stuff that's going on in the in the geekdom, like anything. It could be comics, movies, conventions, whatever's going on, music. It doesn't matter. Just, we're just trying to show like a more human side to the person that does like all this crazy stuff, like being a DJ. That's not easy. A lot of people nowadays think they can just like, there's one DJ, I'm not going to say their name, but they were a DJ for Delta one year and they were a DJ for Anime Matsuri, and all I saw was they hooked up their iPod and just played a playlist.
Yeah,
I
so no go.
have a DJ friend who he plays at not the Roxy, no, Stereo Live, Stereo Live. And he actually DJ'd, his first anime convention was at Delta Age. And then he did DJ at Anime Matsuri. And that is a whole other story. I will, whenever if we went and talk about Anime Matsuri and their shittiness, he told me exactly what Anime Matsuri did to him. And it's pretty...
Let me guess, they didn't pay him.
Well, yeah, they didn't pay him. Like, they didn't even know. I think they either called him or he called them, or like, they're trying to find a DJ, and they didn't tell him that he was going to DJ. They're like, oh, we'll let you know pretty soon if you're going to DJ here or not. And he never heard a word until they released the shirts. And in the back of the shirt, they had all the special guest names, and his name was on there as a special guest DJ. And he was like, oh, okay, so apparently I am DJing here. You just didn't tell me. And he already had another lineup, because it's like, look, I have to fill in these lineups to do these DJ sets. You never said anything until just now, and you put my name on the damn shirt. So he had to rearrange his schedule just to DJ over at Anime Matsuri, because they just never told him. And he didn't want to disappoint people either, so he went ahead and he DJ'd over there. And he expected to get payment, and it wasn't until like months later, because he's a reasonable person. He's not a very conflicted. He doesn't want to cause any like problems or anything. He's just like, okay, when are you gonna pay me? We'll pay you in a few weeks or next month. And it just kept being postponed more and more until like months later, he still hasn't gotten paid, and it's money that he needs. So he basically said, hey guys, you haven't paid me. I haven't seen any checks or anything. So I'm just going to tell Twitter with my over like 19,000 followers that you haven't paid me. And we'll just see what happens. And as soon as they heard that, they're just like, oh, fuck. Yeah, we'll pay you. We'll pay you right now. And he got his payment like literally months later. No comfort, and a little bit extra apparently. But, just to like, don't say anything, type of ordeal. But yeah, that's Anime Matsuri for you when it comes to like them paying people for services. They just try to get or postpone shit for free.
Now, before somebody asks us who, I think it's better that we don't reveal who they are. Just because
I'm not going to reveal his name.
Well, I know you won't, but I just don't want anybody asking in the comments, oh, who's that? Or I think I know. No, we're not going to reveal any names. We don't do that. We don't throw people under the bus here. I have had a lot of issues with Anime Matsuri, business-wise. And I'm not going to get into that in this video. I will get into it eventually. Um, I was going to work on something with them at once upon a time, like in 2000, I want to say 2010 or 11. And it was very degrading. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of gray area at the same time, but it was just really bad. And I really don't want to get into that. But going back to the guest, you know, I had talked to DJ Comett a week ago, and I invited him to be on the podcast, and that's what we're trying to do now. We're just trying to have guests lined up. I have other guests lined up already. We have, I don't know if, I know a lot of people know this one guest. I guess I can go ahead and say that he's going to be on the podcast. I'm just not sure when. His name, he goes by Charles Nelson. He's also known as a pimp named Slipback. I don't know his cosplayer tag name. He's a really famous cosplayer. He's a pretty buff black dude who does projects with independent filmmakers right now. He did like a Power Ranger project, and he's a really popular cosplayer. He cosplays Captain America, but he does like the black version of Steve Rogers instead of the Falcon version. He's a really cool guy. He's a really good cosplayer. He's really talented. He's getting up there as far as recognition goes. So he will be on the podcast. I'm trying to work out something with Under Subsidence. They a lot of those band members have regular jobs, so it's hard to get them on the podcast. I'm talking to maybe another band, and I invited a couple other DJs. You know, of course, DJ Comment's always welcome to come back and you know shoot the breeze with us. Because you know, talk more about what you're doing, your art, or even your show that you say you're going to do, your album. We can even do another podcast with you where you talk about your album, and if you have it already, you know, give like a sample of your work. But you know, like the way it works now, and I'm gonna apologize to a lot of my friends, is the way we did the podcast before is that anyone that wanted to be on the podcast, they would just text me like, "Hey, I want to be on the podcast," and I just couldn't say no, so I'd be like, "Okay, yeah, sure, why not? And you can be on the podcast." And they would be on it, and it just didn't work out that well. Like nothing, I'm not, and this is where I didn't really want to talk about that, but it's like one of those things where like not everyone is meant to be on the podcast. Some of you guys are great. Some of you guys are amazing. You guys are my friends. I really love y'all so much. But like some of you guys will hijack the show. So that is like, and we can't have too many people on the podcast. We've had a podcast where we had 5 people and it was just a clusterfuck of people just talking over each other.
Yeah.
And it's already difficult now with 3 people because, you know, you have to, when you kind of want to say something when one person's talking, you don't want to talk over them. And it's like, okay, well, when do I say something, or do I say something? You know, it's really difficult to get all this stuff, and it takes like it is an art. It is an art, and you got to be able to talk. When I first started doing the podcast, I could not talk worth a fucking damn to anybody. Honestly, I was just like, "Hey, Geeks Forever podcast, whatever." And you know what? I've started learning how to become a DJ. Like I said, there's a difference between knowing how to use the equipment and actually doing it. Like there's a difference between knowing how to fight and then being in a fight.
Yeah.
And I have to say it is really difficult because you can't just mix and mash whatever song you want.
That is very true. That is very true. There's a lot of stuff doesn't mix very, very well together. You're a badass DJ if you can be able to do it. One of my signatures is being able to mix country music and hip hop together. I love doing it. It's so much fun, but it takes a lot of practice. And one of the main things that I tell anybody that's trying to become a DJ or getting ready to jump into mixing is that you definitely need to know what your personal demographic is. What style of music do you like? You know, if you're going to be a hip hop DJ, then be a hip hop DJ. Don't be afraid to venture out into other things, but like mainly stay with what you're comfortable with, because that's how you're gonna to draw your audience. That's how you're going to get good, because if you're already super comfortable with playing EDM music and you're super, or trance music or anything, and you're super into it, then you're going to know how to mix it a lot better than you would doing like a Katy Perry pop song. You know what I mean? So just study music, study your music, listen up to a lot of stuff, grow your playlist, and just have fun with it. Really, don't focus on the money. Don't focus on trying to get a giant crowd that you're about to go DJ to and have all this stuff. Like, really focus on what it's like to be a DJ and all the mechanics and everything. And I promise anybody that's listening that wants to be a DJ, you'll be successful. We need more DJs out here. we can't let it die like the radio did.
Right. No, there is a market for DJs, and it is an art. It really is. It's an art, but also keep in mind that it is an art, and it's not for everybody. Some people are going to excel at it more than others, but once you find your craft and you fine tune it, also kind of keep in mind that this is a job. There is a lot of work. There is a lot of competition out there. Just like podcasting. I like the podcasting. I like being able to sit here and talk to people and have people listen to us and get interactive with it and comment and share their thoughts. I mean, that's why we have the comment screen on the live stream, so people can see everyone commenting. And you see the little symbols. It says Facebook, YouTube, or, we don't have anybody on Twitch watching. Honestly, Twitch for us sucks. We never got, but the thing is, it is work. Like, I have to figure out how everything works. It's a lot of work. And it's like Saki Kitty's a cosplayer, a really good cosplayer. And she was talking about using her sewing machine to make these masks. And honestly, I'm a cosplayer too, but I am nowhere near that good. I suck when it comes to a sewing machine. I can't even sew. I've broken 3 machines trying to sew pants. So I just hot glue my clothes together.
I think you could, I've seen cosplayers who just use fabric glue as a way to just make their costume.
Yeah, I tried to use fabric glue too, and it didn't work out. So every cosplay you've ever seen, like the Mexican poncho, the Ninja Turtle, those are all hot glued together.
Hey, it works. It works. I mean, I'm trying to do what some cosplayers are calling. It's called thrift cosplaying, where you go to a thrift store and you just pick out clothes that will work for.
Hey, Saki Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver just commented. He said Twitch is bad for chatting, but he just commented. So if you want to thank him, now would be the time.
Thank you, Oliver, for the sewing machine. I really appreciate it. This helps me tremendously on making the mask.
Oh my god, he just called me Nura. Nobody calls me Nura anymore.
Goku!
Yes. So the story behind Nura is when I was 18, 19, we were doing a skit, and it was a fusion of Naruto and Sora, where they actually do the fusion dance and become one character. And they were fighting a villain, and they challenged the villain to a dance-off to Barbie Girl. We knew it sounds like a bad fan fiction, but we knew it was crappy, so we tried to make it funny. But the art, when it comes to art, there's lots of different arts, and it's and Didi says she has thrift cosplayed before, and thrift stores are really good when it comes to finding material for cosplay. But everything's an art. Like my drawing, a lot of people praise me for my drawing, but there are a lot of people better than me. And Saki Kitty is a really good cosplayer, as you can see in her. But I can't work with leather, and Saki Kitty works with leather.
I work with leather, leather sewing, prop making, LEDs. I do a lot of stuff. And one thing I remember, sometimes people might get upset or even discouraged of how in the fuck did you learn all this? I'm it took me years. It took me years in order to do it. Now I could look at something, I'm yeah, I can make it. But I'm trying to do cheap costumes at a budget this year. And that's what I'm trying to budget, but now because of the white claw, and I was doing a lot of has-been hotel stuff, and now that's all like, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do it because I don't even know if there's going to be any conventions for the fall. It's kind of discouraging because I love making stuff, and now it's just like, well, I have to fight up this damn pandemic.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Carlos and Oliver who just commented. Carlos says, my Terry cosplay material were from thrift stores. Thrift stores are very useful for cosplay. And Oliver says, cosplay is about the play. You don't have to be a fashion designer to cosplay. That is true, Oliver. I completely agree. But Carlos, I've been wanting to tell you something for a while, and I'm going to go ahead and just tell you over the stream. I really do like your Goku. I think it's really good. However, I would like to help you make it a lot better. I had so many ideas for a Goku cosplay, and I'm talking about, like, you know, having Shenron as a background, or making you like a fake power-up aura, or having lightning, like put some wires on your back and have them come around you and have them look like lightning or something like that. Something to make it better. So if you're interested, man, hit me up.
It's possible. I've seen some wonderful LED works that it can be done.
And just, you know, just to I'm not saying that I'm a bad cosplayer. I've had my work featured. Like, there was a panel at Acon, and they had a making your cosplay out of cardboard panel. And
oh yeah, you did Gundam, didn't you?
I was Megazord from Power Rangers.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
And let me see if I can find a picture, and I'm gonna go ahead and post that. But during the panel, one of my friends was there. I don't attend other people's panels. It's not that, and before somebody says anything, it's not that I don't show support for other people's work or their stuff, but it's like I can't watch other people play video games. I can't watch other people play sports. I can't watch other people's panels because I get really, I have ADD, I'm dyslexic, I get really bored, and I'm more of a person that I would like to do it, and if people want to watch me, that's fine. But I cannot watch other people because I get really impatient, or I get anxious, and I want to do it myself. But my friend went to the panel, and he said they had a picture of me as the Megazord, and they said, this is how you make a cosplay out of cardboard. And honestly, I did make my cosplay out of foam board. Not really cardboard, but it was like a foam board. And it was really cheap to make it, and it was really popular. Like, people loved it. I don't do cosplay contests anymore. The last cosplay contest I did, I was Omnimon, and I won the People's Choice Award. But I don't really like contests. Here's the picture real quick. I put it over Saki Kitty. I'm sorry.
Put it over my face.
Yes. But I also put it over Commett's logo. I am Megazord in the middle. This was at Comic Palooza. My friend right here, he paid for David Yost, who played Billy, and Walter Jones, who played Zack in Power Rangers. He paid for both their photos and wanted them together. And so they saw me walking, well, not really walking by, but, you know, I can move at like half a mile per hour in that cosplay. So they called me over, and I took the photo with them, and I got this one for free. I'm in the Megazord cosplay. This thing was very uncomfortable and very difficult to move in, but it was really cool, and I love it. I'm definitely going to remake it. Beatbop268170 says, hey, what's going on? What's up? Welcome to the stream. You're new here, so welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button or follow button or whatever, however Twitch works.
I would say, like, when you were saying about how the costume you were wearing was uncomfortable, I had, there's a few that are really hard for me to work around with, and one of them is, like, the ones with the armor and leather, especially the leather. Like, I will not wear leather outfits unless I know I have a handler that will help me, because I get dehydrated, and there's several times I had heat stroke by just wearing it.
Right, yeah. Everyone needs a handler when you're wearing something big and bulky.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. Like, I have my Hiccup costume from How to Train Your Dragon 2, and it's all authentic leather, and it looks exactly what it is in the movie. And people are like, why don't you wear that anymore? It's like, because it's all made out of leather. Imagine wearing leather in fucking Texas, guys. It is so hot.
I wore the Pikachu, the mascot one that I have. I wore it to
I remember.
I wore it to Pride and I almost died. Bebop268170 says FFT ? No question. What is FFT? Final Fantasy Tactics?
Final Fantasy.
Oh, that's right. That was the game I was playing on Twitch, and stupid Twitch still has it as the game I'm currently playing. I am so sorry. Twitch is stupid. This is why I really don't do Twitch.
I have some major problems with it, but that's a whole nother.
Yeah, I apologize in advance. You know what? I will play Final Fantasy Tactics later just for you, if you're willing to watch. You know, but it's like DJ Comett says, like, and I'm pretty sure this is the same thing for you. I mean, you learn how to, when it comes to DJing or podcasting, because they're not the same. Podcasting is not as difficult, but it is difficult in a sense because you are constantly managing everything that happens on the screen, especially if it's a live stream. I have to constantly manage everything, the pictures, the videos, the chats, everything, addressing to the comments. I have to make sure everything works. I have to make sure everyone's gathered. I have to deal with a lot of stuff. I have to learn how to use the equipment. I have to know that the people that are joining know how to use their own equipment.
One thing I would like, you know, is to able to see the comments while, you know, we're in the video chat, because I can't see them unless I stream on Geeks 5 Ever or your account, or, you know, going to your personal account and seeing it. It's so much bandwidth happening all at once.
Here, I'll actually share it with you.
Yeah. All right, hey guys, I'm gonna have to get off the stream, getting ready to head over to Walmart.
That's fine. Yeah, we're gonna, you know, anything you want to say before you head out?
First, just thank you guys for letting me come on the stream. I really appreciate it. Helps the business out a little bit. Also, great conversations. Learned a little bit today.
Yeah.
Shout out Galaxy Entertainment. Thank you for hanging out with me today. It's DJ Comett. You can call me Teddy, whatever you want. Follow me on all social media at Comett_official. Except for Twitter. Twitter is Teddy ENT. That's TEDDYENT. Thank y'all for having me. I hope we can hang out again soon.
Yeah, thanks. I apologize for it being so long. It was never meant to be this long.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. I had a lot of fun.
All right, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for being on here.
All right, you guys take it easy. Y'all be safe.
All right, peace.
All right, later.
All right, well, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up now since we lost our guest.
We lost. I'm reading one person. Oh yeah, Oliver. Texas is a difficult place for cosplay. Yes, it is. That's why I like wearing Morgan, because it's not much to wear, but it's comfortable and I don't die.
Oh yeah, you know, it has nothing to do with you showing off like, oh,
like
I dropped my pin. Let me pick it up.
They go down and pick this up real quick. All right. Now it's I love Assassin's Creed. I have like almost every Assassin's Creed outfit because I made it. But you know, sometimes it's just too hot to wear. You know, that's why I'm making like has-been hotel outfits, because they're very simple and they're easy to get around with, and it doesn't require armor.
Right, yeah. You're right.
You know, armor is a very, to me, it wasn't hard to do. I mean, it takes practice, and, you know, definitely foam is an easy thing to get.
By the way, I'm sorry to interrupt, but can you see the comments now? Because I did share screen on the... I
do see the comments. I see Oliver's comments. I see, hey, all right, GGP. So I guess he's leaving.
Right, because I did. I'm sharing my whatever I can see is what you can see now on the call.
Yeah, this helps me because this helps me a lot. So I could I definitely would like to, you know, see more of this. I do have a Twitch account, and I did make a YouTube account for Saki Kitty because I was planning to do videos and stuff.
you know, for cosplay or just talking shit, because apparently people like it when I talk shit.
Well, speaking of talking shit, shameless, shameless advertising segue. Geeks 5 Ever is officially bringing back its Shit Talk podcast on Monday at 8 o'clock p.m. Shit Talk podcast is a mature audience only, not for the easily offended podcast where a group of 4 people join together on the stream and just talk shit about lots of random things. Like I said, it's not for the easily offended. We try not to say anything too offensive. Like, we're not like before. We are going to watch what we say, but at the same time, there is a warning. Like, sometimes we will say something, and it's not that it's not appropriate, but some people will find it a little offensive. So it just depends on the person. But we will have warnings and disclaimers. Shit, and the podcast is called Shit Talk. It will be live streamed here on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer, and Discord. We are now on Discord.
It's like always try to get those audiences. I mean, there's a lot of like what was it, like random shit. Like there was a mother got arrested because her and her kids were playing on the playgrounds or at the park and they weren't allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
It was
yeah, I saw that. Wasn't that here in Houston?
No, it was in Ohio, I believe. It wasn't in Houston. This was like in Ohio.
Oh, it was in Ohio?
Yeah, from what I understand. And like they were recording it. And then she's just like, arrest me. Go ahead and arrest me. Arrest me right now. And he says, well, I'm giving you a chance to leave. You know, so, you know, you can leave and nothing, you know, I won't arrest you. You won't get fined or anything. And she's like, no, arrest me. And then she gets arrested. She's like, I can't believe you're actually arresting me. And it's just like,
oh my God, no. My Mexican ass would have been like, yes, sir, officer, I'm out of here.
I'm gonna go, sir. And and then it became like a huge, major protest. Apparently, she is like anti-vaxxer, doesn't believe in vaccines, and was willing to put her kids at risk through this coronavirus. And the cop was actually very calm and even just like, look, lady, I'm just doing my job. And she's like, I pay taxes. And he's like, yeah, so do I. I mean, like, what do you want me to say or something? Like, cause like, and apparently she was all for Blue Lives Matter situation, and yet she was arguing with like a cop. It's a whole bunch of mixed bag of crazy.
Well,
when it came to this Karen,
Karen, Karen word.
It's a slur word apparently. It's Karen, like women that are freaking difficult to people who are trying to help. You know, it's just like she was definitely a Karen, and she wanted to start the protest because even in the video, like, oh, record it. You know, if there's enough of us, they can't do anything about it. You know, it was obviously she was trying to start shit.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm not trying to get like all. I'm not, like I said, whenever I say something, I'm not trying to be like racist or political or any of that shit. But here's the thing. There are a lot of people in this country that don't know what it's like to get your ass beat by a cop like you're a goddamn piñata.
Yeah, it was obviously she should have checked her. She should have checked her privilege. It was a crazy situation. Obviously, she was doing it for like attention and to start shit. And cop was reasonable with her, you know.
Yeah.
That cop, I was like, okay, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna arrest you.
You know, I saw that video. I know exactly what you're talking about. I saw that video, and like during the video, I was like, man, I would have tased the shit out of her by now.
Yeah, it's just, at a certain point, I'm like, okay, you know, screw this lady. I'm gonna just arrest it. I'm like, if this happened in Texas, it might have been a way different situation.
Right, no, absolutely. Dee says mom tax. And Dee said that was hilarious. Yeah, no, that shit was pretty bad. I watched it and I was just like, man, that first cop was like, lady, I get it. I'm just doing that guy. You could tell right off he hated his job so much because of shit like that. And the second cop was like, nah, man, I'm old. I'm tired. I don't want to deal with your bullshit. Lady, I'm going to just throw your ass in jail.
it is a crazy clip, you know, and I know we don't want to, like, you know, get political or anything, but it's just more like, this is like batshit.
Whoa. What? No, they didn't.
Oh,
Dee Dee says that they showed up at the cop's house.
what the fuck? Okay, this lady was all about Blue Lives Matter, and now she's harassing police officers? Like, what the fuck?
Damn, she cray, y'all.
That's a Karen! That's a fucking Karen!
So, yeah, no, here's the thing, and here's the crazy thing. There is an entire I don't know if it's satire or not. There's an entire movement right now that the word Karen is just as offensive, if not more offensive, as the N-word.
I will have to disagree. I think the N-word is way more offensive, way more offensive than the Karen word. The fact that they think that, like, Karen is like an offensive slur, I think it's stupid. You know, to me, I'm just like, well, then just stop being a Karen. You know, stop acting like a stupid person.
It's crazy though, because, like, what about the people that are named Karen that aren't like that?
There are. I mean, I met Karens before when I worked in retail. One Karen, when I was working at Joann's, she basically, you know, she basically wanted the coupons, and I said, well, the way you could get the coupons is to download the app, sign in, you get 20% off plus some other stuff. It's a really great way to save money. And she's like, well, this isn't my phone, this is my friend's phone. I was like, oh, okay, well, whenever you have your phone, you could download it to your phone. You know, it's like, yeah, but I want the coupons now, so download it on my friend's phone. I was like, I'm sorry, but by company policy for Joann's, we're not allowed to touch people's phones and download stuff for them. You know, it's just like, you could download it. I'll tell you where to touch and where to go if you're Android or Apple, whatever. You know, we'll go through the motions, but I physically can't hold your phone and do it for you because of company policy. You know, what if I drop the phone and it breaks? You know, I'm going to get yelled at, you know.
Or, you know, she could just, like, throw you under the bus and be like, she snatched my phone.
Yeah, there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts, so we just don't do that. But I'm still very, you know, friendly about it. And then she's like, well, my friend's phone, it locked me out, and I don't know her password, so I can't get the coupons. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry about that. I can't really do much anything because I can't break into your phone, you know. And then she was actually getting angry for the fact that I couldn't help her break into her friend's phone and get the password in order to download the app, you know. And it was really crazy. And then she's like, I want to speak to your manager about this, that you're not helping me. And I'm like, and this is legit. It was a crazy situation. She was angry for the fact that I couldn't help her recover her friend's password to get into the phone or to break into the phone. Because I'm like, do you want me to break into the phone? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Well, that is illegal for us to do, and I'm not going to do that. And she got angry and called my manager. And she basically explained the situation of me not able to break into the phone and download the app for her to get the coupons. And even my boss looked at her and then looked at me, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm in trouble for, not doing illegal stuff for this person. And she, I mean, the look on her face was just like the whole, oh my God, really? And like, there are people like that. They want everything done for them. They want to be treated special in every single way. And it's just like,
yeah.
You're not special. I mean, that's not the first time, like, I had to deal with people who are Karens. Like, one person got angry of returning stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't return this. And like, well, why not? Why won't you return it? Because it says Hobby Lobby on it, and we are Joann's. So I'm not going to take these items. And, you know, that person got angry. Because it's like the same item, so it doesn't matter type of deal. I'm like, all right, whatever, I'm not going to do it. You could call my manager, I'm still not going to do it.
I'm sorry. I would have gone full Dave Chappelle and be like, bitch.
I fucking love Golden Boy. Golden Boy, that anime is amazing.
Yeah, isn't it a lot better now that you can see the comments?
Yeah, it is. This really helps me to view, and I like the program that you have. This is a really nice program. Yeah. But it definitely is. So there are parents out there. That's just one of the stories that I have. Another one, I had to explain a person the difference between letters and words. And that was interesting. I mean, I'm dyslexic, but I know the difference between letters and words, but, whatever. I mean, it's just, there's people like that all the time at retails. It's frustrating.
You've actually given me my idea for the first topic for Shit Talk on Monday. Karen.
Karen, yeah. Let's use the slur word Karen, because I don't care. And we'll talk about Karens. Just like all the Karens and like shit that we had to do with. And there's people that are named Karen. I'm pretty sure they're not a quote unquote Karen. I'm pretty sure they can be very sweet people. But the whole mommy haircut, bob cut to the side, Karens out there. It's just, they're so stereotypical, and it's amazing of how people how they operate in life, that they just think they could get anything by just literally harassing people to the point.
Dee says, I've had a customer curse me out over Hawaiian rolls. Jesus Christ.
I fucking love Hawaiian rolls, but it's not worth to curse somebody out. Yeah, I got cursed out for many times for just not having items. This one person was like, so you don't have like 100 piece or 100, it's like I think it was like buttons or something of that. And they think that we have like a magical warehouse that has over 500 of the same item, which we don't. And they got mad, and then they got mad because they're like, you're not a wholesale, well, give me a discount, and because I'm buying 500, you should give me a discount. You're getting my business. And I'm like, well, I don't know the wholesalers. I'm just the cashier.
Oh no, I used to work for Kroger's. I worked for Kroger's for like 2 months before I got fired. And there are a couple stories, and I'll share, and then we're gonna end the podcast. There was one where while I was working there, cherries were out of season, and they're like, excuse me. I'm like, yeah, what's up? Because that's exactly how I would talk to them. Mm-hmm. Do you have any more cherries? No, we're there. No, we don't have any more. They're currently out of season. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. We don't grow them in the back if that's what you're thinking.
Oh, God.
No, I don't know why I said that to them, but I said that to them because that's where the conversation went there. Like, are you sure you don't have any bag? Like, why are they out of season? What do you mean, why? And I told them, well, they're out of season because they're out of season. We just don't have any. Are you sure you have any in the back? I'm like, no, we don't have anything in the back. If we have them, we would put them out here. I'm like, I'm sorry, we don't have cherries, but we don't grow them in the back. Just so you know.
Oh, God, they did not like that.
They did not. And then another case where I was helping, because I was in the produce, and this lady was like, oh, this lady brought her daughter, who was kind of dumb. She was asking me about the milk. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the milk right here. What's the expiration date? So I showed her the expiration date, and it was milk that we had just gotten, so it would expire like in a week and a half or 2 weeks.
So it's usually like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it was like 2 weeks, and she's like, well, can you give us a discount since it expires in 2 weeks? I'm like, no, I can't give you a discount. It expires in 2 weeks. I guarantee you the milk won't last that long. And the mom had to like correct her, like, girl, it's like she wanted me to give her a discount because she felt like the expiration date was around the corner. And yeah, it kind of is. For if that were something else, yeah, that's around the corner, but it's milk. Milk does not last that long. And the life shelf of milk isn't even that long to begin with. I looked at her like, no. Like, I gave her like you're the dumbest person I've met here so far look.
There's plenty of people who just kind of like expect discounts because they're alive, I guess. I mean, I dealt with so many different types of people who, I mean, I respected retailers before, you know. I'm not mean to them unless they're like mean back, which usually they're not. And I always try to, you know, give them a pleasant smile and everything because they have to deal with so much bullshit. And then when I worked in retail, I didn't realize how much of the bullshit they have to deal with a daily basis. It's just really, really, it's really upsetting that it's borderline harassment, and the fact that companies are not protecting their employees by harassment. And I got harassed and followed around by men in the store before, which that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
You know?
I've worked retail too. I worked when I was in college, I worked at GameStop, and no experience I've ever had, maybe the pawn shop, will ever top GameStop. There are some fucking god-awful people that came into GameStop. There was one guy, he's on his phone. He's like, yeah, you know, I'll talk. He's trying to be like a big shot. You can tell someone's trying to be a big shot by when they're on their phone and they're being obnoxiously loud and they're like, you know, with their sunglasses indoors. He walks in the store. He's on his phone after like being in the store for like 3 minutes. He gets off. He's like, hey, y'all sell games here? And it was in the morning. I think it was like around, I think it was like an hour right after we had opened. I got scheduled to open after I had already gotten scheduled to close. I wasn't in a bad mood, but I wasn't in a good mood. And the first question I got asked that day was, y'all sell games here? And I looked at him like, ugh, I sure hope so. Otherwise I'm late for work. And then one dude came in there. He's like, hey. I'm like, what's up? Someone told me we can trade in our tires for new ones here.
What?
I'm like, what? Yeah, someone said that y'all buy tires. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. I wasn't even having his shit. I was like, no. Who told you that? Oh, some guy I know. Well, you need to go tell him he's stupid.
I remember there was one person I had to talk on the phone, and this is legit. I worked in retail, and I worked at Joann's for like a good year and a half. I had some good memories, and there's some like crappy ones as well too, like with anything. And I went ahead and a customer called, and apparently she's like, hey, so I went ahead and I bought the fabric. And she bought fabric for, like, her wedding dress or some sort of dress. So it was some sort of dress for an occasion. And she's like, okay, so I bought the dress and I bought the pattern. So I was wondering when y'all are available to make it for me. And I'm just like, sorry, we don't provide that service. But there is a board out in, you know, it's like near the restroom, and they have cards on a little billboard where people place their cards and information for customized work. And I said there's some seamstresses, they have their information up there, so if you want, you could go ahead and take one and talk to them, but they're not affiliated with Joann, so that's personal, somebody else's business. And then she got upset. She's like, well, no, because I bought the fabric and I bought the pattern, so y'all need to make it. And I was like, I'm sorry, we don't do that. And I had like an argument with this lady on the phone on making the outfit. And she's like, well, do you know how to sew? And I'm like, yeah, I know how to sew. And it was a benefit. That's why I got the job, because I knew how to sew. I was like, yes, I know how to sew, ma'am. It's like, well, then you should make it for me. That's your job. And I'm like, I mean, I wanted to get off on this woman. It's like, do you buy groceries, right? Like, do you buy groceries? Did you expect the workers to make you a fucking dinner? Because that's not how it works.
You just got like, you went from, yeah, you know, to, you know what? Fuck. You just went from 0 to 100 real quick. It
was like, you go to grocery stores, right? You don't buy the food and expect the cashier to make you a fucking dinner. It was absolutely crazy. So obviously she wanted to talk to my manager. I said, okay, go, I'll put you on hold. Give me a second. I called my manager up for her to talk. And then like she was angry for the fact that I was not going to make her outfit. And like my manager was just like,
what the hell, what the hell? You're getting all these like weird customers complaining about like you not doing something like beyond. She's
Yeah,
like,
like I
it's
went
like,
to the store.
she does not make you your fucking wedding dress. Okay, that's not part of her job. It was, and then she's like, well, I heard that that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, no, obviously that's a lie, or that was in your head. And it's always amazing. It's like, well, that's what I heard, so it must be true, so you have to do it. And I'm like, no, that's not how the world works. Just because you heard it doesn't technically make it true. I had one guy that was, it was weird. It was such a weird experience. Like, he was hitting on me at the store, and obviously I did not return the feelings to him. And it was just like some random guy, and he got angry, and he wanted to speak to my manager because I was not being nice enough to him. It was like that happened several times to the point where I wore a ring on my finger, like a wedding ring. It's a fake wedding ring, but I actually wore it and just like waved it around so that people will know that I'm like quote unquote married. I really wasn't married at all, but it helps.
Well, we are okay. So, yeah, no, we're definitely ending it. We said we would end it 25 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago. I think it's been 30 minutes.
Experience in retail like next time, because everybody experience, or at least most people have experienced retail and the shittiness of it.
Right. Yeah.
And it's even worse now with the White Claw or whatever that's going on. I had some other people who tell me about their horror stories of many people.
Right. Yeah. No, we're definitely going to talk more about it later. But all right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I am Goku. Thank you for watching. This is Saki Kitty, my co-host. Even though Saki Kitty showed up late today, because Saki Kitty forgot.
I didn't know I was going to be on. I was dealing with the fucking unemployment, which that's another.
I'm dealing with that too right now. I'm trying to sign up for it.
No, I signed up and they haven't paid, and they're like, oh, well, we're still, like, evaluating. I'm like, guys, you need to fucking start giving my money. He's like, oh, we'll give your money in the month. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be alive.
That's right. I'm going to be dead.
I might be dead by now. Just give me my money.
In case I died in it. Oh, anyways, yeah, so starting Monday. Okay, so I know this is super late, and I'll just make another post, an advertisement talking about the live stream. So tomorrow I'm doing the terrible fan fiction reading part 2 for Harry Potter My Immortal. I gave Saki Kitty a brief summary what it was about earlier. It's really bad. It's really awful, but it's hilarious. Tomorrow is part 2 to My Immortal, so if you can, check that out. It starts at 8 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. It is the official, and we're going to finish the story, headache or not. So yesterday I got a headache. I'm going to finish it no matter what. I'm going to make sure I get lots of rest and I eat and have lots of water this time, so I'll be prepared for it. Monday, 8 o'clock at night, it is our Shit Talk podcast, which is officially returning. It will be here on Facebook. It will be on Facebook, and it will be on YouTube only. It will not be on Twitch or Mixer, but we are going to try to have it on Discord. So you can join Discord and chat. We are going to have 4 hosts. It's going to be me, hopefully Super Chris, hopefully Saki Kitty, if Saki Kitty wants to be involved. If not, we can get someone else.
Well, I'm going to be doing my the mask.
Okay, yeah. So you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. I'm trying to get the original cast back for it. Original cast for it, but I don't know because one of them doesn't exactly have internet. Because we used to do all the podcasts at Trunks' house.
Yeah, I remember.
So yeah, no, so definitely Monday. So the way it works is on Monday at 8 p.m. it's going to be Shit Talk. Wednesdays and Saturdays at 5, it's the Geeks 5 Ever live stream podcast. Got it, Saki Kitty? We have nothing officially on Thursdays. I might live stream video games. Tuesday, I'm going to live stream Luigi's Mansion. And then on Thursday, I might live stream Super Mario 64 DS because they do have it on the virtual console on the Wii U, so I'm gonna just go ahead and get that and live stream it. On Fridays and Sundays are the Terrible Fan Fiction. Wednesdays and Saturdays are our regular podcasts, and on Mondays it's the Shit Talk podcast, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays are off days where I just live stream video games. So this is our set schedule for now. This is what we're gonna go with. If we decide to do more, we're going to try to do separate things for the channels. Like the Shit Talk podcast is going to be Facebook and YouTube and Discord only. The Luigi's Mansion thing will be Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook for now. We might, oh yeah, we're also on Mixer now. It's a little different because it's a little weird because we're doing lots of things for different platforms. So like I said, I'll do an announcement later. But we have so much going on now. Like ever since I finally got off my ass and started doing streams for the podcast. So, all right, guys, I am Goku, and this is Saki Kitty.